he's the strongest of the Aesir of the gods, but he has a belt of strength that makes him twice as strong. Norse mythology is really fucking cool.
A strongly worded letter to Marvel Studios saying that they fucked up Norse mythology.
Norse mythology is one of my biggest hobbies. I've read a shit ton about it, so...
Here's a fun story for you. So, back in my early Army days, when I was still Private Richards... Oh, well, there goes my last name. Hello, Smudcast.
We're live, by the way.
Yeah, whatever. I don't fucking care. So, I had a team leader who we'll just call Smeef for now. Sergeant Smeef had me write an essay on 3 virtues that I think I still have on my computer. So Philosopher already knows exactly what the 3 virtues were. Oh no, do I not have these anymore? I guess not. Whatever. But it was basically the Odinistic virtues, and he had me write 3 essays on them, like what it means to be a man. And I started writing the first one, and I looked up like different, because a good college student, I like to do research. So I'm like, okay, so honor. Okay, so let's look at some things about honor and get some perspective about honor. And as I went through these, yeah, sure enough, they were the Odinistic virtues. And then I came to him about it. I was like, hey, I know you follow like Norse religion and everything, but I don't know how I feel about you assigning me essays about the Odinistic virtues. And he was just like, no. This is what I teach my kid. Like, these aren't the Odinistic virtues. I'm like, okay. And then, like 2 weeks later, he gave me the next 3, and sure enough, it was like right down the list. Like, come on, dude.
Oh, this might surprise you, but
I can actually report you right now. I'm not going to, because I know like this is well intentioned, and you want me
this
to.
Might this might surprise you, but actually, I've never heard of Odinistic virtues.
Really?
The thing I read mostly about is like historical stuff, and I read the translations of the original myths. That's how I approach that stuff. So I never heard of that stuff.
Odinistic.
But I'm looking it up right now. That's interesting.
Yeah, the 9 noble virtues. Let's see. Yeah, courage, truth, honor, fidelity, discipline, hospitality, self-reliance, industriousness, and perseverance. Sure, fucking enough. He went right down the list. I'm like, God damn it, dude! I could actually report you right now.
That's a good morality system.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's good and I appreciated it because it came from a good place. I knew what he was doing came from like a well-intentioned place, and there was no harm in this. Even though I'm an atheist, there was no harm in this, and I didn't really care to. And I actually agree with these virtues. So I'm like, okay, fine, yeah, sure, whatever. Now, if he was like, write me an essay about how fags need to die, I'd be like, okay, so I have problems with this.
Zach, the word is benders, okay?
Benders. They're an oppressive group. Welcome to the Smudcast, number 174 to 19.
You start with benders and Norse mythology.
Welcome to Smudcast 69. Nice.
69 420. Nice.
Welcome, fellow Norse followers. Welcome to the world of morality.
All my Norse words.
Yes. Oh boy.
Hello, my N words.
Morals.
Oh no, N words works. Fuck. Should have gone with that.
Anyway, welcome to Smudcast number 162. Are morality systems making us less moral? And morality systems by virtue of morals in games or choices in games. So we're not talking about a specific ethical construct from yesteryear or some of the virtues or this or that. It's all the stuff you do in choice-based games and how that relates to humanity. Now, I think before we start, we can say that games do not cause us to have a variety of morals or life choices or this or that. We might be interested in certain art forms or music or this or that because we hear them in games or experience them in games, but I don't think we really get our moral teachings from I don't know,
Yeah,
punching
I would
reporters in Mass Effect. It doesn't really, translate very
I
well.
think
Witcher
that certain
3 taught me to
stories
kill
can have
monsters and get bitches.
I think certain stories can have a profound impact on your life if they have if they are extremely specific. I know, for example, that a certain film has touched me to extremely deeply because I watched it at a specific time of my life where it extremely related to my situation. So it can happen, but I wouldn't say that it just kind of could completely, utterly change my morals.
Right.
Like foundational aspects like that.
Now, hopefully, we'll look into this video. It'll talk about moral systems based off choices, and that's based off the narrative. So you're doing something to affect a certain outcome, and that has a result of something. So it's not just, I'm going to help some people today, or now I'm going to burn a village, that sort of thing. We want actually choices that mean things to the narrative, not because they're good to do. Like you can play Fallout 2, play the entire game great, get all the experience, do all the items, get everything there, and then go back to where you started and just slaughter every single person you want. And you can get away with it. So that's not what we're talking about.
I will say that so an idea that I like to toy around with was the idea of mind uploading and teleportation, how that would actually work in the real world, form-based identity versus spatial-based identity, all big science stuff. And then I played Soma, and Soma solidified the idea in my mind that mind uploading doesn't work for us meatbags because we're still going to be here, and it doesn't matter if you kill yourself immediately after you upload your brain. You're just like that is now just a copy of you.
Okay.
Right.
But it just influenced my way of thinking about science and this
about a certain concept.
this realm of science that I was like diving into and trying to learn more about.
The influence.
Right, there's a classic trope in science fiction called a head in a jar or brain in a jar. It somewhat relates to the concept of teleportation with Star Trek that actual physicists have problems with because you're destroying an object and then recreating it at an atomic level.
Oh yeah, because they try and say that is it still even you after a
right. So the best example I can think of in movies would be Possible Worlds. I think it came out in 2001 or something like that. It's probably the best example of. It's literally that's the whole mystery of the movie that ends up being a brain in a jar, and this whole world is this idealized world where our protagonist is in, and it's this whole existential story, and it's probably the most philosophical modern take on a movie I've ever seen, which is reminiscent of or influenced at least by The Matrix and other stuff like that. So yeah.
I should probably get in the watch together.
Yes, that'd be great.
That might be an idea.
You're an idea.
Right. Okay. So this is a 15-minute video about morality in games, or at least choices made in games based off certain game designs. You may not hear of all the games. You may not be familiar with all of them, but I'm sure you know the bigger names, the bigger choice-based games on AAA studios. So they might have that in here as well. So let's get going. It's going to take about 2.5 hours usually. All of us.
I'm actually very interested in this video.
Yeah, me too.
I don't have any leanings. Like I don't expect this video to be bad at all. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting topic.
Yeah, I also have a positive expectation.
We hope.
Yeah. Yay.
One can always hope.
Bithell Games' new title, Quarantine Circular, that I was hit with a real rarity in video games. An honest-to-God moral choice with no easy answer.
Okay.
Let me lay it out for you. I was playing as an engineer, who had the unenviable task of setting up communications with alien First Contact. After getting talking to this tank of an arthropod named Gabriel, he asked me a question. He has a shock collar on that prevents him from moving out of this tiny circle. Will I disable it?
So, wait, is this just an animation that he's doing?
This is a game.
This actually in a game?
This is a game.
What game is this?
I think you just mentioned it. I can't remember what it was called. It's something circular, But this is the actual gameplay. It's all dialogue. So
Interesting.
yeah.
All right,
Surface circular. Oh wait, you saw Quarantine Circular. I'm reading his description, by the way.
Yeah.
Quarantine Circular, Mass Effect 3, Undertale, Saints Row 4, Darkest Dungeon, Half-Life 2, KOTOR 2, Dishonored, Frostpunk, Papers, Please, Fallout New Vegas, Subsurface Circular, and Dauntless.
There you go.
So
This
yeah, I mean,
really stumped
cool.
me. Despite having a binary choice to make, there were so many factors to consider. Gabriel seems nice, but is he lying? How to get captured in the first place? The guy looks like he could stop a train, for Christ's sakes. Why did he come here? Should we implicitly trust technologically advanced outsiders because...
I love his pros and cons.
Well, one thing I actually have noticed in games is that if you don't signal to the player that it's a choice, they will not conceive it as a choice. So they think that there were no choices, even though there were, just because you didn't signal it close enough. I've seen that with many games where there were a lot of choices that actually did matter, but the game didn't signal it to you, so people thought there were no choices.
Yeah.
I honestly prefer those games because at least like
Me
it
too.
gives you some thinking and like analyze like the dialogue.
Because when you go,
like, yeah,
when you play them again, you realize, holy crap, that's different.
yeah.
Are those present in
I actually have
Telltale?
a great example of this, actually in Cyberpunk.
Yep.
Cheddar,
a lot
if
of
you're
those,
listening
actually.
to this, don't listen. Cheddar really likes Takamura, and there's a mission with Takamura where I won't spoil what happens, but basically some shit goes down, you fall through a floor, and Johnny Silverhand, who's a dude in your head, play the fucking game, and he comes up to you and is like, hey, get the fuck up, we gotta go. And you're just like, but what about Takamura? He's like, he's toast, he's gone, come on, we gotta get the fuck out of here before we're dead too. And I'm like, shit, man, I guess. Alright. And I just left.
Yeah, I know.
2 hours later, Cheddar tells me, yeah, you could go save Takamura.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Like,
that's not very clear.
There are a lot of choices like that in Cyberpunk, actually.
Yeah.
I've noticed that playing through it again, there are quite a few choices that are not signaled whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm actually about to finish my first playthrough after 250 hours.
The Witcher 3 did that to some extent, to very similar extent as well, actually. Not signaling what is a choice and what not.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where I'm just like, I would like to know more context around this choice, because it's not very clear what I would do in this scenario, or what's going to drive the plot forward, or what's going to just grind it to a screeching halt.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's just like, I would like a little bit more clarity, but also in real life, there's not as much.
Yeah, but also,
it's not real life. I'm playing a fucking game.
Going back to the video, sometimes I'm a bit taken back, if a game just extremely obviously gives you a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's quite a binary choice as well.
Fallout 3 had that with it's like poison the wasteland, poison the wasteland's water supply, or don't. It's like, yeah, but we could get rid of all the mutants and make sure like actual healthy people will survive, and like kids will stop being born with cancer and shit. And I'm just like, okay, that's great, but you're committing genocide to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
like, Jesus fuck.
Mario games have the greatest choices where you can say yeah or yeah.
That's when you have the Breath of the Wild where everyone talks to Link, and Link just goes,
"Yep."
Yeah, exactly.
I love Breath of the Wild because it just makes his silence that much louder.
I don't know how much they paid for the voice actor, but oh man, like I don't think they paid enough.
Breath of the Wild is so fucking good, dude. I love it. I love everything about it.
I also like the CDI games the most. They are very memorable.
Breath of the Wild is dark as fuck too. I don't know if you ever played it, but
I've played 400 hours of it. I know the game.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like you go to Hyrule City and you're just like,
But holy fucking crap, the Master Sword trials are fucking terrible.
I beat the Master Sword trials. I put down the game and never picked it up again. I was like, I'm done. After that.
Oh, the boss fight of the second DLC is fucking amazing.
Yes. What was it? The
monk.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So good.
So fucking good. It was probably my favorite
sorry,
boss
Smart,
fight
for
ever.
derailing this.
No, I'm not sorry because I get to
sure
talk
there's
about
a
Zelda.
moral lesson in there somewhere. I just don't know.
There's a moral lesson of kill monks.
Beating up a 300-year-old corpse or something.
Oh my god.
Is
super fun. The pros and cons. I'll continue in the video.
Right. How could this harm the world? Well, first of all, monk's kind of a prick. Second, I get a cool thing from him.
A fucking motorbike.
Message coming in.
What?
You get a motorcycle from him.
What the hell am I... Zelda? What the hell is going on?
Yes, you get a motorcycle and it looks like a horse.
How?
Why?
It's actually really fun to drive around.
It's the best shit ever. It's so good. It makes sense in the lore too.
Really?
Also, you feed it just by it uses fuel.
Feed it.
Yeah, you have to feed it, and it just turns whatever you dump into it into fuel. Like literally anything. You can dump diamonds or goo into it. Like anything you dump into it, it turns it into fuel.
A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
You can damage enemies by driving into them.
Why does that sound like a Devil May Cry?
It's kind of worthless. Go ahead.
Yes.
It's kind of worthless because you get it at the end of everything.
Well, after the end of the game, basically.
Yeah, it's like after the end of the game, it's just like, oh, okay, cool. What am I going to do with this now? Because I'm done.
I was about to ask, can you use it against Ganon?
No. Wait.
I hadn't.
In the final fight
tried.
with Ganon, I haven't tried.
I need to try that.
I have a save right before I go fight Ganon, so I might try that.
Same. I need to try that.
Game just for that.
Anyway, this dude in a purple suit seems probably not a fighter. Look at him.
So yeah, this is about the choice in that game.
Right. Let's just keep going.
Dirty lying.
Here's super chats from the Shatil. John Titor. I think I know what you're talking about. That's a time traveler talking about where he came from and what's going to happen to the United States and all this other crap. Yeah, that was a hoax. Joe Crazy. How would you guys rate Metro's morality system? I think those are just
top tier.
Really? I thought it was just a point-based system. You just get points for doing good things. And...
Yeah.
Well, that's like any morality system, really.
Personally, I really like hidden morality systems that aren't obvious to the player.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just really enjoy Metros because if you take the more altruistic paths and make peaceful choices, it may not seem significant in the moment, but if you are generally peaceful...
Is that in all Metro games?
Yes. If you're generally peaceful...
Never noticed it.
It's not so much in Metro Exodus, because you're basically fighting for your life constantly. I've played the first 2 Metro
games. I haven't played the newest one.
So good.
I do remember, I think it was Last Light, that if you listen in on conversations that you lose points or something like that. I was like, what the hell? I wanted to learn stuff, but apparently that's bad.
I don't recall.
Only nerds listen to this.
Yeah, sneaking around.
I got the good ending of Last Light. Last Light was I thought top tier. Metro 2033 was really fucking good. I loved a lot of the messages in Metro 2033. The
audiobook, the book is pretty great too.
It's on my read list. It'll happen someday. It'll just add it to the list. But Metro Exodus, actually has like a huge payoff at the end to get the good ending. And if you you do have to make the good and righteous choices throughout the game and like help out your buddies. And it's presented very naturally, which I appreciate because I think it was the desert level of Metro Exodus, I didn't realize that I had made any choices until after I had made them, and I didn't realize the path that I had taken until I got a very obvious clue of, don't worry, you're on the good path! Like, towards the end of the desert level. And I was like, oh my god, I wonder, like, what would have happened if I wasn't a good person. Because I just made the choices that I would in any scenario.
Yeah.
Like, there was a guy bleeding
and
out
that
on the
made you a
ground
worse person according to that video.
Like, I just, like, at one point, you have to go to a lighthouse, and there's a sniper on top of the lighthouse. Sniper's on your team, by the way. And she's being assaulted by, like, all these fucking bandits down at the bottom of the lighthouse. And she's just picking them off one by one. You have to clear out the bandits, and then go talk to her to get a thing from her. And there's a bandit laying on the ground. He's been shot in the shoulder. And, you know, he's like talking shit to you and everything. He's like, piece of shit, we're gonna fucking kill him, blah, 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 blah. If you kill him, you lose morality. But like, if you just let him go, you gain morality. And by the time you come back down from the lighthouse, he's gone. Like, there's a blood trail, and it's implied that he just fucked off and was able to get out of there. So it's not like you're just a merciless killer. Like, okay, you're clearly not a threat to me. You can go.
Yeah, part of the intrigue of these things is that you don't know what your choice means. You don't know how it will affect people, and that's kind of a double-edged sword. Because people want to know what does it mean when I do this, so they don't have to reload a save if they didn't like the outcome. But that's kind of the appeal of these stories, especially with like New Vegas and all these other choice-based RPGs, where you do impact factions and how they affect the world, and you don't know what's going to happen. That's part of the intrigue and why you keep playing those games. You want to see what maybe I should go with the Legion this time, like, even though they're crazy, but yeah, why not? Let's see what they do.
Yeah. There's one big
so
part where
transfer experimentation.
Where I often differ with other people is that I think choices like these, to me, they are significant even if they only affect the characterization of your character or another character.
It depends on the game. It really depends.
Often people expect big like changes to every decision, and I'm just like, I'm often fine if there's just a tiny change to your character, how they are, who they are.
They can't affect the player character many times, because once you do that, then the character becomes a dynamic thing, and then you're expecting them to change. The best example, I know this sounds strange, but the best example of that is in Dragon Age 2, where if you keep choosing I say Paragon and Renegade just because I know Mass Effect, but if you keep choosing up or down or middle, then there is non-choice dialogue that pops up later on in the game based off that continuous choices. So you're actually changing Hawk's character even in a slight way, and that's the only example I can think of where games do that. And it's you have to listen for it, because when you think about it, it's like, wait a second, you didn't say that the last time I played. And you go back to your Goody Two Shoes playthrough. It's like, yeah, you're right. You didn't sound that. Why do you sound like a swarmy little bastard this time? And it's because the last chapter you played a swarmy little bastard. So I thought, hey, that's good. That's a slight little thing, but not earth shattering. Nothing.
I love it when games do that. I really like that. For me, that's often enough.
Right.
And it also, in some parts of the game, of Dragon Age 2, it does actually unlock different bits of dialogue to get you through a section. So if you are a goody two-shoes, you can, persuade people. If you're an asshole, you can just threaten people. And if you're a sarcastic little cunt, like I usually am on it, you can, like, weasel your way out of stuff. So, yeah. But that's probably like the only one, like a BioWare game since after KOTOR where there was actual proper change in a game with morality. Because afterwards, it just seemed like there was quite a clear good and bad option, and people just pretty much took the good option.
I honestly don't like that choice option that they introduced in Mass Effect. I just prefer like the dialogue options.
Paragon.
Yes, no? Like it just tells you like, oh, you want to be a good guy? Choose this one. It just,
yeah.
I don't like it. It just highlights for the stupid people.
So it depends upon the actual effects of the choice, and with games like New Vegas, your effect, because you're just your character has you have no character as the courier. You're just a guy or girl, and you affect the factions for doing things for them, and you make choices for them or against them. So it's very straightforward.
And if you like side with the wrong faction, then the other one is going to get mad at you. I love that thing. It was amazing.
It's simple, right? And that's what the endings are all about. You get those wonderful little slideshows where they say what happened and what occurred as a result of your choices, which is great. But the fact that we don't have enough character-focused changing your choices sort of aspects, which video games can handle, is it makes sense because I know how complicated it is to have all these branching paths just for shaping the narrative for the player character's behavior, which is nuts. Like you imagine every time you play through a BioWare game and you're going to be the jerk. So they have to make jerk scenes for every single major plot point. It's going to be like, oh, that's like 3 different playthroughs based off how many personalities they want. So it's not necessary, is what I'm saying. So these are things that are clever. And if you really want to see how far that goes with game design, like not just character choices that affect the character or the ending, look at Alpha Protocol. That is the game whose entire concept is based around choice in the level, choice with characters, choice with yourself, etc., etc. So, yeah.
I would definitely check it out.
The way they designed that game was just nuts. And anyway, let's get back to the video.
That sure didn't go well for indigenous cultures in the past. Maybe he's a diplomat, or a scientist. We don't even know his society's values. Video games are great at posing moral questions, because unlike any other medium, it's us that gets to choose the answer. And that's what moral questions are, really. The most open-ended possible puzzles. And they challenge a totally different part of the brain to test some mechanical skill and tactical thinking. They're unique because the interest...
But I have a question. If you know basically nothing about this character, how can you make a moral choice?
It depends on what...
If you know nothing about them, you basically can go like, should I trust them or not?
Yeah, so
that's...
I think that's what he's referring to, in that it had him stumped because he doesn't know what the moral choice would be.
Yeah, but is it then how much of a moral choice is it if you don't know what kind of effects anything will have?
It's like being
I
a
agree
detective.
with that question.
It's like being a detective and accusing someone of a crime that you're not sure they're the guilty party. It's like, wait a second, why do I have this option if I don't know all the information? So it's not so much in that regard a moral choice just because you're doing something that could be labeled as wrong, but you're not actively hurting anyone. You're just like, I accuse you of X, and then we're going to interrogate you later. Oh, we're wrong, sorry. Like that would be the basic result. So this has nothing to do with a moral choice. It's just a lack of information on what's happening in the narrative.
Part isn't making things happen, but in seeing how your choices unfold. You'd think, given the ability of video games to enable player choice, and more importantly, the consequences of those choices, we'd have a flourishing culture of games that are all about explorations of morality and ethics. But we kinda don't. There are of course some great notable exceptions that I'll be getting around to later, but for every game with some sort of morality system, very few ever seem to pull it off well. I've spent a while mulling it over, and I think I may have found the source of the problem. Weirdly, I think the issue lies with morality systems themselves. Now it sounds like I've finally lost it, but let me explain myself. Traditional game design wisdom, broadly speaking, holds that integrating all the different parts of your game is a good idea. In Half-Life 2's best level Ravenholm, the physics system, gunplay, puzzles, and aesthetic design all work together to create an awesome experience. Because of this philosophy, however, morality and ethics get tied into games in a way that hurts them. They're represented through systems like karma meter related stat boosts and content gating, or different endings based on your choices. The problem with this approach is that it's inelegant. In attaching straight up gameplay bonuses to moral choices, you make them easily solvable, turning an ethical choice into a strategic one.
So here I'm wondering if he is going to present a solution to this, because he's raising an issue. I would like him to present a solution.
Well,
I'm also waiting for the point.
Yeah, because
so does he have a point in saying, okay, yeah, I want the good ending, so I'm obviously going to pick the good choice. That's where I was talking about earlier. I think that Metro Exodus does the morality system well, because I was just making the choices that I would make, and I ended up getting the good ending.
Like the best example I could think of a choice out of all the games I've seen that everyone would probably understand would be the Vermeer Survivor choice in Mass Effect, where you can send one of two people to one of two areas. And there's reasons why you do that for whatever, is in your brain. Oh, this person's better at fighting, whatever you think. And then who do you save and why? Because you know what's in those areas. It turns out the result does not affect your choice, because you think, okay, I should go to my ship because that's why I'm here. That's the mission. I got to set the nuke. I got to protect that. Or I got to go save as many people as possible, but you don't have that freedom because the game forces you not to. And that's like the setup is poor and the result is poor. But they had that capacity to make it more than just morality, tactics, and trying to be a hero and all these other. So there's all these layers of why you would do that thing, but it ends up being, oh no, you just save one person or the other. The result is the same. The other person dies, and the mission is saved. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem with those sorts of narrative choices, that they have layers to them, but the end result is always the same.
And another major problem with that one is, depending on who you are, one of the people can be a love interest.
Right.
So that skewers.
That is an extra layer, right? So your thinking is like, I was starting a romance with Ashley, or I'm interested in Ashley. Obviously, I'm going to, and that's what Shepard actually says that you can use that as an excuse. Why did you go for me instead of Caden? I couldn't, and he says I couldn't leave you, Ash. And it's like, oh shit, that's not good. That's not a good thing to say in a military scenario where you're in charge, having personal feelings for individuals in your group. So lots of, but that's good conflict though. So I don't mind stuff like that. But the layers of complexity and meaning were just toned down for whatever silly reason, because they didn't want to write that into the narrative, which is sad.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it means nothing in the end, because you get to number 3 and
Well, always compare all the complexity of games like Mass Effect to Alpha Protocol. And you will see every single bloody thing, how you talk to people, whether you can kill off characters like nothing. You become a psychopath. It's amazing.
The one he's talking now about making it, because Zach read out the sources, he mentioned Darkest Dungeon, and he's now complaining about making a system out of morality, in like a game system out of morality. But Darkest Dungeon does that, but it does that in an interesting way. So basically makes you question if you want to invest into keeping up the mental health of your heroes and keeping up their health in general, or just, as soon as they're not fit for purpose anymore, dumping them in somewhere, just throwing them out again.
Right.
So there's a moral question there about what kind of basically boss you want to be for those heroes.
How much stuff
that is built into the systems, and sometimes you're like, God, I love this hero. He has been so good for me. I just invested so much into him. I've given him a personalized name, and it almost kind of invented a story for him. And then he's just ended up really poorly as a very bad hero. And you're like, should I now invest into keeping him better, or should I just dump him, which will be more profitable for me? So that then comes with a difficult moral question that's completely a result of the systems.
Right. The nature of the game is to build your own party, and as a result, you can customize it however you like, getting rid of people, helping them out.
Yeah.
Right. But that has nothing to do with the morality in the system of the game. That's just you saying, "Oh, what do? I like this guy."
Yeah, which I find kind of fascinating because the moral is kind of almost reversed, where the morality isn't made the system, but the systems make you have moral questions.
Right.
So, in defense of Person Man, whose name I already forgot, he is saying that generally morality systems are a little basic, and you find yourself often just going with, oh no, I want this result. I want to bone this person, or I want this good ending. So you make strategic choices to get the results that you want, rather than making moral choices based on your gut, your instinct, or what you would do, or what you want to do in that scenario.
Or even knowledge you've built up
while
playing the game.
You're going off of meta and not the scenario in the game, and I think that is what he is highlighting, and I agree with him. I mean, fuck me, I've even done that in Cyberpunk. It's like I'm just like, nope, I want to bone this person. What do I need to say to them? How to bone?
The Dragon Age Origins doesn't have a morality system. I just remembered, considering it's a BioWare game, it doesn't really have a morality system. You just make decisions on what you think is the best to defeat the enemy. I mean, I know it has an approval system where you just spam gifts to people to like you. But when it comes down to decisions, it's really just down to you going, well, I think it's like with the Anvil of the Void. Do you want golems to help you, or do you want just dwarves? But there's also other layers of like, but the golems are, people die to make golems, and it's like, they can beat the Darkspawn, but you're sacrificing innocent people, or there's loads of things, but it doesn't say what's the right choice. It's just a choice, and you make the decision.
If you look at where they came from, which is KOTOR, and that's morality system is pretty cut and dry. So everything you do, maybe there might be one or two choices that are like, well, that could have been dark side as well. You did in fact kill a person, but you got light side points. So it's kind of black and white. And then they took that with Mass Effect and went, well, what if there is no force? What if you're just like diplomatic? Therefore, you're doing things in a nicer way, as opposed to like putting
Paragon and Renegade.
Yeah, just like what? That's it. So
it's like, wow.
Yeah. I'd rather see choices which you want to make as a result of you playing the game you want, not knowing this is good or bad. And that was the inherent problem with the Paragon and Renegade system. Everything up was blue, everything down was red. And if you didn't stick down one particular route, you got cut out of important dialogue. For some reason.
You had to make a decision early on. Am I Paragon or Renegade? Then all your decisions had to match.
You're just not Picard enough. You weren't Picard the last two scenarios. You had diplomatic talking points. So sorry, you couldn't do it.
You couldn't resolve that cat fight between Miranda and Jack.
That reminds me that there was like a dialogue option in KOTOR. Like I think it plays right after you escape Terrace and you get to the Hidden Academy on Dantooine, and you have the option to ask one of the Jedi Masters to like tell you about like what happened with Revan and Malak, and that gives you a dark side point. Like I never understand like what's like evil about that.
Sometimes it's very weird what they class as a evil decision.
Like it tells you straight away that like you shouldn't talk about this because it's evil.
That is a problem.
Okay, BioWare.
Yeah, in general, that's a problem with an in-game morality system, especially with KOTOR, where you become more powerful because you're more aligned with one of the other sides.
Yes, the second one made it a bit better, but foundation is still the same.
Yeah. All right.
It's always interesting that the moderate like if you're trying to make the choices that you would specifically make in certain situations, and it's kind of wishy-washy, like you're not totally good, you're not totally bad.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like you have to commit wholly to, am I a dick or am I a good person?
Right, and that's the problem.
That you get nothing for the middle road.
Exactly. If you look at KOTOR especially, where they introduce like Jolie Bindo and all these other gray Jedis who are, passionate, but they're nice guys. There is no doing well middle of the road where it's like a purple Jedi or whatever you want to call the gray Jedi, I guess. So,
yeah.
Which would have been fantastic.
I know why you said purple there.
Yeah, because I think in terms of Mass Effect, because everyone says Renegon or Paragade because they play the game however they want to play, but they have to hack it so that they can make choices later on, or else they can't get through the game.
Yeah.
Jolie is like the most interesting character in the entire game.
Oh God, yes. So is Kreia in number 2. Like they are the definitive, interesting characters out of all of Star Wars. So if you don't appreciate the game, you're never going to get into them.
I will say the only time that I know a middle of the road character to be the best type of character would be with Dragon Age 2, the middle option. So you're not goody two shoes are always angry. You take the middle road, and sarcastic Hawk is that's the only time it's like the positive of being middle of the road.
Plus, that translates really well with the friendship rivalry system, which was fantastic. So that you can be a bitch to someone or a dick, and they will feed off that and see you as a rival, but it's still a good relationship because they're stronger as a result. So you keep badgering them, treating them like crap or whatever, and they play off that.
It's a bit like they play off of it, and sometimes it's better to be a rival than a friend to certain characters.
Right, and it worked so well. Like, what a great concept! Act like a dick to someone. He's still with you because he trusts you and respects you, but he hates your guts.
Well, it's like I want to kill all these Templars and cause a revolution. No, that's stupid. You're a fucking idiot. Don't do that. Oh well, I don't like you because you said that, but I'll stay with you. And then it's like you just disagree with them, so they hate it, but they still like someone said, they still like you.
Right. So there are
it sort of changes their.
So what we're talking about really is positive reinforcement for your choices that makes sense. And in the rivalry friendship system, that works well. With Mass Effect choices where you can't make a choice because you didn't choose the Patrick Stewart option all throughout the game, you're like, what? That's stupid. So there's a problem with not allowing players to do what they want when they want. And that's behind the morality system, which it shouldn't be. So anyway, we can talk about that.
I have one more thing to add, and I'm so sorry.
All right.
Whenever you make the choices that you would make, or just based off the information that you have at this particular time, you're like, okay, so going off all of this, this person stabbed me in the back, but they do have a good point about the blah, 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 blah. And you make a choice that seems the most logical, and you get fucked in the ass for it, that always pisses me off. That this seemingly logical choice, based off the information that you have at the time, just completely ruins like a certain scenario. Like I had that in Cyberpunk, actually.
But that's a good thing, because I liked having a choice where one of your friends or one of your factions will like you and the other one won't. Obviously, it's more black and white in games like Fallout New Vegas. But in games like in Dragon Age Origins, when you decide to save Logain, which logically is like, yeah, he's a great warrior. Doesn't matter if he tried to kill us. We won. We beat him. So let's use him. He's a resource. And you're like, let's not kill this guy. The queen doesn't want it. Let's be nice to her as well. But Alistair, nope, he does not give a shit unless you actually were able to charm him throughout the game. So there's
harden.
Yes, that's
harden him with his dealings with his sister. Yeah.
Yes, so you have these options throughout the game that you don't even know until you actually go, wait a second, I can make him not get pissed off at me. I'm going to do that and get Logain and
but also you don't, unless you know about it, you don't know which dialogue option hardens Alistair, since it doesn't say anything's changed. So you can go through that scene with his sister, saying, "Oh, what, being the goody two shoes," or saying what you feel, what you feel is right, and it will change the ending and what options you have, but you never know about it. So that is a good thing about it.
Which makes you want to replay the entire game totally differently just to get what exactly you want out of your game, and that's the kind of detail I was hoping for in later BioWare games. And yeah.
It's insane when you go through Dragon Age Origins and then you play any BioWare game after, and you're just like, wow, fuck, there's nothing here.
There's no hope for that company.
So I know I'm talking about Cyberpunk a lot, but I really liked so far. I like that the big choices that I am making make sense for the most part, other than the one where I made a choice and then everybody fucking died. I had to reload and what the goddamn happened? And I had to pick a really dumb choice to make sure that everybody lived.
I never encountered that.
It's the it's the Clouds mission. It's the end of Judy's quest line.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, literally everybody died.
Yeah, that one is a weird one.
It was very weird. And
if you think about the lore, it kind of makes sense, but gameplay wise, they just don't present it very well to you, and they make
it's not presented well, and that's my main criticism. But your relationship with Johnny and the friendship that you build with him is not very clear.
Yeah,
because he's a dick.
Yep.
In all honesty, he is an absolute fucking dickhead. He's a selfish asshole. And as you go through the game, he softens up, and you can you start to see a bit more of his perspective and know why he makes the choices that he does. And hello, someone just joined.
Hey, Voice.
Voice. Hello. Where was I? Oh, but you see a bit more about why Johnny makes the choices that he does, and after a while, I was just like, I want to know more about Johnny, so I'm gonna try to be his friend, and because I know he's in a rough spot, he's stuck in my head, and I'm stuck dying, and I'm gonna try to be nicer to him and such. Your relationship doesn't change because I started agreeing with him. You have to have a bit of a pushback against him. You have to ride this middle road with him.
I think they really fucked up in the main story that way, where they just... I think it was that they didn't have time to account for all the possible actions you can take. So they thought everybody would take a main road, and so they developed for that main road, that main story. The side missions are that mostly fine to your choices and everything, but the main story really has some issues there.
Yeah, and see, Johnny's such an interesting character, and I wanted to talk to him. So whenever the options came up of take the pill and get rid of him,
which actually sometimes doesn't, depending on how you act, the option doesn't exist.
Yeah, and
in my first playthrough, that option never came up to take the pills. In my second, it came up.
I had one option, one time, I had the option to take the pill, and it just never came up again. But I wanted to hear Johnny talk. I wanted to learn more about him because he's he's such a fascinating character, and plus it's Keanu Reeves, and I beat off to his voice every time. Anyway, he's such a good character, but every dialogue option that I took to listen to him more never raised his relationship, and I ended up having to go through this contrived set of circumstances and dialogue options and choices to instantly bump his relationship level up to 70%, because, and this was actually accidentally got spoiled for me, I don't know the actual ending, and nor will I spoil this, but I saw this one ending that I'm just like, that one, I want to do that one, because holy fuck, that is the option that I was, if I had known the endings, that is the one I would have shot for. Or, this is the one I would have wanted regardless. And
now that makes me curious which one that is, because I know the endings.
I'll
all right.
Blaze of Glory.
All right, guys, let's keep going. How's it going, Voice?
Yeah.
Nice to have you here. But We're gonna keep on.
We apologize for derailing the Smudcast again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was a good conversation.
Take Saul's Knights of the Old Republic, for example. Its morality system, which measures your devotion to the light or dark side of the Force, actively selects against making decisions on an ethical basis.
I like his editing.
The more devoted you are to the light or dark side of the Force, the cheaper certain Force powers get, and if you go really far, you get some nice stat boosts. That means that any attempt to make a decision based on your ethical reasoning is a decision to potentially make the game harder for yourself, and that's not a choice most players are going to make. This sucks even more in KOTOR 2, which includes Freya. She's a mentor figure who picks apart your reasoning for every choice you make, and she's just brilliantly written. She's the most balanced and nuanced take on the light and dark sides of the Force in the whole Star Wars canon.
For somebody that has actually played KOTOR, is that true?
Oh, she is the best character in Star Wars.
Yes.
Really?
Pretty much.
I heard that a lot.
I played this game maybe 200, 300 hours, so I can definitely say
I feel so bad because I had this game on my wish list and I was just like waiting to pull the trigger on it. I'm just like, maybe one day I won't give a fuck about the graphics and the outdated systems and everything.
Yeah, like,
pull the trigger and
I
actually
can
play
understand that aspect because like it looks very outdated now.
Yeah, it looks really bad. And then somebody bought it for me. Somebody gifted it to me on stream, and I'm just like, dude, I'm probably not gonna play this.
When you put up with it and you listen to the dialogue, it like really just holds you. It's amazing. Like especially Krea's dialogue is just really good.
Like I'm a sucker for that type of stuff, but if like I'm just looking at Play-Doh on a screen that's just called my graphic settings, like it's very.
You can't close your eyes, you know.
Yeah, I could.
Just put a blanket on the screen, like
there we go,
covering up the faces, and only showing the dialogue options. That's all you need.
I went and looked for like high resolution mods and like high res texture pack mods for KOTOR. Yeah, none of those exist.
All right, so RPGs you have to play. KOTOR 2 is one of them. Bloodlines is one of them. You know, these are games you have to play. So
the classic Fallouts.
Yeah.
Smut, if you
I really want to play the
a
classic
chair
Fallout.
and like Clockwork Orange style, hold my eyelids open, I will.
Fallout 2, buddy. Here we go. Hexagonal turn-based combat. You're going to enjoy missing 30 times around a scorpion. Well, you have to reload 30 times.
I'll bite.
What do you think of the first Fallouts, man?
Is it like the first? It's pretty much like the first, only a bit more refined. Just as buggy, but you know, it's you get a car. It's really awesome.
Is it like XCOM where 90% means 30%?
Yes, it is like XCOM. Yes.
Yeah.
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 It's hilarious. Anyway, let's keep going. Kyle Rocket. Wait a minute. We not finna speed past like you ain't just say. We just heard you say. Kyle, what the hell are you talking about?
When I talked about beating off to Keanu Reeves' voice.
Well, you know, if you like boring Canadian actors, that's up to you. But you know, it's okay.
Well, okay. First of all, yes, but he's a lovely boring.
He is a nice guy. I'll give him that. Yeah.
He's a lovely.
Hey Zach, Cedar would sing for you if you play KOTOR 2. How can you refuse that offer?
Easily.
Yeah, Cedar's like, what the hell, Zach? What is wrong with you? She's already freaking out for like 2 minutes now. I admit, I would be that way, but I'm pretty chill. So it's like, you know what? You should probably play KOTOR and KOTOR 2, and Alpha Protocol and Bloodlines.
You're just like slowly reaching for a revolver on your desk. Like you should probably.
You know what? Cedar never played Bloodlines, and while we were talking one day, like a week ago or so, she went and got it off Steam. So I don't know if she's playing it, but everyone should play Bloodlines with the expansion.
She's a bit busy not dislocating her leg at the moment.
Oh my god!
She will have time to play.
There are loads of games I would recommend to everybody, but I know my tastes are very peculiar, so I wouldn't want to.
All right.
I've just been called a plebeian in the chat. That's
plebeian? I call people plebeians all the time.
Well, you and Cheddar would get along great then.
Read the fucking Elder, I'll come back to me.
Cheddar, go get a working leg, then you can call me a plebeian.
As long as you don't
We
say like
laughed,
the Mark
but
the Cyborg, I think
it
we're
was
cool.
bad.
Okay, Zach.
I told like she hurt her leg yesterday, and I think like first thing, like once she was in the hospital, I stopped giving her advice and just started roasting her. And I think my first message to her was like, "You're gonna die, dumb bitch."
Oh,
Jesus Christ. Now
Alex
that
Haley.
gets you a dark side point.
Yeah.
So she survived to spite you.
Wow, renegade option.
Renegade. I've had enough of your disingenuous accusations. No, it's accusation. I think.
Is it accusations? Oh, yeah.
It's a
I've had
sin.
enough of your disingenuous accusations. Oh, hey, she's playing Ghost of Tsushima. That's next on my list. I have it bought. I got the
Message coming
digital deluxe edition
That's
for
a
like,
good game.
dude. I got the digital deluxe edition for $49. Ah,
It good.
I can't
I can't wait to play it. Oh, it's gonna be good,
be a massive weeb again.
dude. I mean, you guys aren't gonna hear from me for like the next week or so, which I'm sure is a
Oh.
blessing.
Oh, thank God for that. Jeez.
Hold
2021 is starting off wonderfully.
Oh, the soundboards.
There
Oh no, we're gonna miss the soundboards. What will we do?
Well, just Smud. Listen, every time I use my soundboard, you better thank whatever god you worship that I don't play Sasha Grey's actual orgasm sound because I
Message
have it
coming
on here.
How?
Message through.
You know what? I don't even want to know. That's fine.
Smudge, you don't want to know.
Yeah, let's
That's-
keep going. Alex Halo,
Priority system.
play KOTOR, or I'll make you play Neptunia. It has Yuri. Well, I mean, Zach is now going to play both, so I don't know if that's a.
I have
I
played
think Zach
Neptunia.
would more into being.
Play KOTOR or I'll make you play Neptunia. It has Yuri. I don't know who Yuri is, except for the Yuri and Modern
You will
Warfare.
obey me. I am Yuri.
Character from Red Alert.
It
Tell
has
me
Yuri.
how Makarov knows you!
Who was that? Who's the girl on
Capitalism is bad.
The Mandalorian? She was in Red Alert. What's her name?
Message coming in.
Huh?
Patching
Gina,
Gina. Yeah, Gina. That's her
Bib.
name. Yeah,
Bib Fortuna.
she's in Red Alert. She was the Russian
Yeah.
chick.
Really?
Yeah, Gina Carano.
Waiting for your Cyberpunk refund. Look, man, listen. Cyberpunk, the modding community is like rallying right now. This is why a big reason why I love PC games. I'm gonna rail about this for a second. So
What
just
the hell?
kick me
You're
out of the call.
right. I never knew this.
Listen, the modding community is rallying around Cyberpunk to make it a good game. I don't fucking trust CD Projekt Red. Whatever, they update their bullshit. Fine, yes, well and good. The modding community is actually gonna make it good. Like, make Night City great again.
Isn't
Alright.
that with almost every game?
Not well, sort of. Yeah, well, I don't care. Well,
I
not
don't
every
think
game.
Deus
Not every
Ex
game gets
2
a
is ever
massive.
going to be good.
Not every game gets a massive modding community. I think like the
True
first
enough.
thing I did with Fallout 4, as soon as I think I got like 2 hours into Fallout 4, and I was like, "This is shit," and I immediately went to the Nexus mods, and like I think it was 2 days. 2 days after the game was actually released, Nexus mods already had like 1 million mods up. I'm like, fuck yeah.
The pros of
one
having
of my
the same engine.
one of my favorite fun facts is half an hour after Dark Souls came out on PC, the DS
Message
fix
coming
was
in.
out.
Patching
Took half an hour.
What? How?
Yeah, the first version of DS fix actually came out like pretty much half an hour after the official Steam release.
Who the hell can? What?
I don't know.
I'm telling you, the Nexus mod community is on some next level shit. They pop Adderall and just get to work. All right.
You should
No
see.
fucking way someone can write software in half an hour.
You should
That's
see-
crazy.
It wasn't.
They
It wasn't a
can.
very
You don't
good.
understand.
It wasn't a very good fix at first, but you know.
They pretty
Listen,
much
they got it out.
made
all right?
the ending of Mass Effect 3, not just the ending of Mass Effect 3, but just the gameplay of Mass Effect 3 so much more. We have a buddy on the Discord who knows all the. I can't remember his name. He's he's been on the Smudcast before in Smud Talks, but he is a big fan of the modding community on Nexus, and he loves playing Mass Effect over and over again. With there's 7 mods you must have in order to play it properly. So, yeah, no,
if
they're
you
great.
must have a mod to play games. Probably not a good game to start with, but you can make it good. All right, I made Fallout 4 great again. All right. I think I put like 156 mods on my Fallout 4 file. Like if my Fallout 4 file could be like represented in physical form, it would just be like a house of cards.
Oh god, that reminds me of Skyrim installing like 300 mods and then like, oh shit,
Yep.
the game keeps crashing. Which mod is it?
Yeah, you have to play uninstall the mods until it works again.
Yeah.
All right, here is 210-505. Who's ready for 2021? Already starting great. Yes, it is. I agree. Everything's fantastic. Just purchase
Can I read Cheddar's super chat, please?
So let's get there. Alex Halo. Wait, Neptunia is good. I'll torture with Yahweh instead. Yoi? What's Yoi? Who's Yoi?
Alex, a spacebar exists.
That would be nice, yeah.
Yowie?
Yeah, probably.
And can I please read Cheddar's?
Yes, you can.
I didn't hear a no. The cheddar cheese with $2. Play KOTOR, or I will break my other leg, Zach. Good.
See,
wow,
so
that's
you're
really
doing
going
it.
to play the game.
She's doing it backwards
Renegade.
again. she's doing
It's not
everything
breaking a
backwards.
leg. It's just a ligament. Stop.
Also, Wise Wolf really wants to hear the cooming sound. I'm not going to play it. I don't feel like getting Smud banned on YouTube.
All right, let's. We've got how much left? Oh, we've got 11 minutes or so.
That'll be fine.
Unfortunately, the emotional kick of having your moral choices torn apart in front of you doesn't really have the desired effect because
Look at his
you
glasses.
didn't make them for moral reasons.
Oh yeah, no. KOTOR 2 has hilarious headsets or headgear.
I always install the mod that doesn't display them, but you can equip it for the stats.
Fucking stupid headset.
I want this as an emote.
Those look like
Yes.
like virtual reality goggles when they first came out or something. Just like-
Message coming in.
My vision is
Patching
augmented.
it through.
Check the chat. I have something for you.
You look
Yuri
like a
is
guy
girl on
who's-
girl.
Wearing two pairs of sunglasses.
Yeah, they're just gigantic. Yoi is guy on guy. Is it Yaoi, not Yoi?
Yowie?
I don't know.
Yowie?
Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. I don't know.
Yowie? Yoi?
It's
Yuri.
Yaoi.
Wrong.
I had 2 semesters of
wrong
Japanese, so
video.
it must be Yowie.
It's
Yuri.
Yaoi.
video.
How does
First
of
of first
have to,
name.
Makarov know you?
If you're talking about guys on guys, go to the last Smudcast because that's when we're talking about benders. So
Oh yeah.
this one's about morality systems.
And be sure to donate to Smud's Patreon and like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, share the video,
Smash that like button.
smash that
Smash it
like
again.
Crush it.
Wait,
Crush it.
what happens if you
Murder
click
the
it twice?
like button. Murder the subscribe.
If you click it twice, it goes away the first time, right? So you know.
You have to click
Yeah.
it 3 times because the second time cancels out, and then the third time is like triple power.
Charm.
Like
Oh,
power.
all right.
Nailed it.
But because you were doing a light or dark side playthrough. KOTOR is pretty easy pickings, I'll admit, but morality systems can scupper even games with supposedly much more nuanced
Dishonored.
takes, such as Dishonored.
Mm.
In this game, your morality is measured by how far the city has fallen into chaos. Stuff like killing people raises the chaos level and causes more guards to appear at later levels, as well as gives you the quote-unquote bad ending. Low chaos runs, on the other hand, require you to be merciful and give you a much nicer ending, because despite being dishonored, you remained honorable and were still a good person. See, it's this whole thing, it's really subtle. The issue here is that the pretty much binary nature of low and high chaos means that low chaos is heavily coded as being the more ethical and nicer route to follow, despite being anything but. The non-lethal resolutions to the various missions see you doing some truly horrible stuff, like drugging a lady and essentially selling her to a stalker who's going to keep her as a slave. The choice of just murdering Lady Moyle versus force-feeding Dunn the red pill is an interesting moral dilemma that Dishonored half-heartedly tries to get you to consider before telling you that you're a good person just because the people you delivered into the hands of a rapist or sold into slavery didn't die. Without the chaos system in place, you'd be made to figure out the best way to get what you want, taking into account ethics versus practicality and the potential consequences of your actions. But with it, the nuance and ambiguity is removed, and we're left with a system that denounces a mercy killing and praises slavery.
Okay. But aren't the consequences part of the system?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't remember that part of Dishonored. Go ahead.
Right, I was about to talk about Metal Gear Solid and Deus Ex, where you could have entirely playthroughs of non-lethality, and that does impact some of the dialogue choices at the end, but the endings are essentially the same. So,
are you referring to Metal Gear Solid 5?
I don't know all the nuances. I haven't played 5, and I don't know all the nuances with Kojima games, at least after 3, because that's when I stopped. But I do know in Deus Ex, like, the dialogue will change, and you will get slightly different dialogue from Adam at the end, but the endings, if you choose them, are the same. So it's kind of a mix between what I was talking about with in Dragon Age 2 and the narrative choices being combined, but that doesn't really mean much if the ending is the same. So
you're saying, like, you're defining your character
yes,
through your choices, and
in a small way, yes.
Oh, that's really cool. I need to play the Deus Ex games. That's on the list because they don't look as shit as KOTOR does.
They are nuanced, and the great thing about that is because you have multiple paths of how to all Deus Ex games were like that, even the second one, but they just, the focus was gameplay, and that's the whole point. There was no point system like, oh, you killed 500 people. You can, go for it. So there's no problems doing that.
By the way, you need to play Metal Gear Solid 5 because you can knock people out and then just tie a balloon to them, and now they're in your army.
Fulton extraction.
Well,
you can tie balloons to goats.
All right,
Smud.
I know, but I played Portable Ops, and in Portable Ops, you are literally this is before Fulton. You are dragging people 100, maybe 200 meters to the back of your car or your truck. And you're just piling the bodies in, and they're alive, okay? And then you lock them in prison, and then you wait 10 days or whatever the time limit is, and they join you for whatever reason. It's like, oh, food. I like food. I'll join you. It's like Stockholm Syndrome, the game.
You tie balloons to them, they go to an oil rig, and now they're in your army now, and they will die for you, and then you can play as them.
Yes.
What was the other game? Peace Walker?
Well, no, after Portable Ops, there was Peace Walker, I think.
Yep.
Then the Fulton came into play, yeah.
That is another game mechanic that wasn't very well translated to the game because I had no idea that you could play as your other soldiers.
Really?
Yep, you can, and some of them have actually incredibly beneficial stats.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't give a fuck about that. My whole complaint was, I am the general of this army, yet I'm the one doing all the field work. Fuck that! It's gonna be Joe. Joe! Get your ass out to the field!
You can actually also find female soldiers as well.
Yeah.
You can recruit females. Everything.
Why do you
Lisa, don't give a fuck! You can't rock 35
I mean,
pounds.
you can. I was just saying there's an option.
You can put them in the kitchen.
Option.
It's great.
Ugh, girls. You want girls in there,
well, we have kitchens.
By the way, again, 6 years in the army, never once have I seen a female carry a full load, plus a rucksack.
Good point.
Sorry.
Just throwing that out there.
Full
load means full load. By the way, means you're fully kitted. You got plate. Yeah. It's where you fucking bukkake your fellow soldiers. No, it's where you have your. It's where you got your plates.
Zach, are you saying you've seen a bunch of male soldiers do that?
Well, we do that anyway. That's standard.
Oh, okay, I thought so.
Yep. Yeah. It just when a girl is involved, it's just a bonus.
Wow, I didn't know Kojima was so good at these games. He really puts realism into all these
Yeah.
Simulation.
Yeah, especially Death Stranding. Wow. Like, finally I
So
can
real.
walk in video games.
Careful. Careful. I adore Death Stranding.
Okay.
I like
okay.
it too, but I can make fun of it.
Oh,
I like
just
acid
love-
trips too. It's
I
great.
just love the picture-perfect, accurate monster cans. Like, oh my god.
Norman Reedus with the incredible fetus.
They have the nutritional facts of Monster Energy drink on the
Let's
cans,
drink
and
some
you can read
Monster.
it. You can read the ingredients on the Monster cans. It's so good.
Wow, what a
I really
shit
like Norman
marketing
Reedus
ploy.
giving you a wink after shitting.
what can you read on in the game?
Fran
Monster cat.
Madaraki, Fran just said insert Piper Perry meme. First of all, that's not how you spell her name. Trust me, I've done plenty of research. Second, in regards to what? Oh wait, well, probably when I was talking about bukakiing female soldiers. Never mind.
Anyways, there's a video.
Yeah.
Decisions are interesting because we get to explore the consequences. And I think the mistake that a lot of developers make is that they assume that without seeing immediate feedback for our choices, players will think they have no agency. But it's attempts to rectify that in KOTOR and Dishonored that actually make them less interesting. Long-term consequences for your decisions are actually fine. Let's compare Frostpunk and Darkest Dungeon, two games that explore the allure of becoming a monster while chasing the greater good in subtly different ways.
Yeah, but
What?
Darkest Dungeon is shit.
One, not so great.
Oh, it isn't.
Spoilers
It's great.
for Frostpunk, by the way, so skip ahead to this time if you don't want to see them. Frostpunk sees you controlling the last city on Earth, built around this giant generator, in order to try and survive an endless, apocalyptic winter.
Sounds already kind of like Destiny 2. Or Destiny 2. It's the only one I played, but Destiny, the last city of...
It's actually not bad. I didn't mind it. It had some problems, but you can do some really ridiculous dictatorial things in there, but it's either you do it or you don't. It's like, what do you choose?
This looks cool. Like, what is this, Frostpunk? Yeah, it looks cool.
Yep. You're in a crater,
Also,
essentially.
Darkest Dungeon has nothing to do with getting the greater good. It's about getting back your family homestead.
Also, I gotta go to the loo. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves, please.
Yeah, Darkest Dungeon
okay.
is a terrible game.
Why is that?
I disagree with that, but
It's just a huge grindathon. I don't see the
in a
appeal.
way, yeah.
Kind of like Pokemon.
I've put more than... Yeah, but...
Oh god. No. No!
See, now we need Pokemon with,
It's not
like,
the
stress
same.
meters.
It's not really the same.
Pikachu wants to
Because
play.
in Darkest Dungeon, death is permanent.
Well, the death of your characters is permanent.
Yeah.
The body members.
Oh man, like moral choices in Pokemon.
There are no moral choices in Pokemon.
I'm a new game that has moral choices.
What?
Never mind.
Hey?
It's
What are you talking about?
I was bringing up a new idea.
We're
anyway,
brainstorming,
anyway,
boys.
It's just really... It's so unabashedly in love with its own grind because, you know, high level characters won't get out of bed for a low level dungeon. So if you want to grind up a new character because you've lost one and they start at level 1, bizarrely you can put a level 1 character into a level 5 dungeon, but you can't do the reverse for
You can make it so that they start at higher levels and everything.
Yeah, but that was patched in afterwards because people...
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the same with all the trinkets and stuff that you couldn't originally sell for gold. And then they added that...
Oh yeah, I've played it after all the stuff has come out, so...
Yeah. But I don't... It's nice that they've done the fixes, but even then, I'm like, ugh, really?
Yeah.
And also there's the people that can just show up and just destroy your town.
Have not that happened yet.
Reset it. People say I'm quiet, so 1 second.
Yeah, you are
New mic.
a bit quiet, but
New mic, still figuring shit out.
All right. So, Frostpunk, cool game. Not that long, but very cool base building game about surviving in this crazy frozen wilderness and the last vestiges of humanity.
If you crap, it's definitely not long.
To do that, you'll need to sign laws to keep people in line and make sure society doesn't crumble. This is great, because all the most useful ones carry a heavy moral toll. For example, forcing kids to work in the coal mines, and Frostpunk is difficult enough to make these choices really worth considering. I made some really tough calls during my Frostpunk campaign. I tried to uphold strict moral values to keep my people happy, but eventually I needed to create a religious secret police to control theft, and I had to perform a little bit of emergency triage to prepare for the big endgame superstorm. It was during that storm, in the 11th hour, when my people were starving and sick, and with mere hours to go until the storm passed, that I made the ultimate choice. In order to save the city and possibly humanity, I sent a child into the bowels of the overworked generator to fix it and buy us a few precious more hours, killing them in the process. Humanity survived, and I was greeted with the text, "We didn't cross the line." Wait, what? The quite genuine remorse I felt was completely undercut by the game thinking I'd done an ethical job as ruler. I sacrificed a kid! As it turns out, Frostpunk secretly tallies up how many evil decisions you make, stuff like banishing dissidents or instating yourself as dictator, and only at the end of the game does it tell you if you made too many. And that's about all you get as far as feedback. I was looking forward to a little blurb about how my city ended up faring, whether my strict super policy led to malnourishment, whether the sacrificial child was remembered, or what became of my secret police, but I didn't really get anything, just a "good job" sticker. Frostpunk falls at the very last hurdle by adding a mechanical dimension to its morality. If the ending was something more ambiguous or explored my decisions in more depth, then they'd feel much more impactful. However, by making the powerful, evil laws contribute to a little more than a bad ending, the entire morality system may as well just be a difficulty setting, and the moral element is removed entirely. Instead of regret, I now just kinda feel disappointed. I only had to feed that kid to Prometheus because I'm bad at Frostpunk. Darkest Dungeon, on the other hand, doesn't judge. Instead, it just shows you the consequences. In Double D, heroes that fight in the dark get more loot, but get more stressed, and seeing them unravel, turn on each other and give in to despair is not very pleasant to watch.
Yeah, but it's not morality.
Also, it has a gameplay effect. It's not just that it's just exclusively more, it actually has a gameplay effect because you're basically gambling if they will get a positive or negative status effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost certainly negative, and there are obviously downsides to it. You don't want your characters to be stressed.
No, you really don't want to.
So it's not so much a moral choice as it's just an extra mechanic. On top of health to maintain, you also have to maintain their sanity.
Well, you can basically go the route of having a lot of heroes that just throw like dumpable, so you just do easy shit and just dump them. But in the end, the main goal is to defeat the Darkest Dungeon, and for that you want to have a fully leveled team that is perfectly geared towards everything, and you will have to invest time into their mental health and everything, just like leveling.
It's a lot of micromanagement, so you have to enjoy the grinding aspect to get like the Crusader unit or whatever balance in your team. So managing the sanity meter, whatever you want to call it, it's like, oh yeah, he's crazy, he's killing each other. All right, let's stop, let's get out of here. You know, it happens a lot.
Let him flagellate himself in the church.
Yeah. Let him go with the hookers. Let him go to the bar. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stressed heroes must turn to stuff like drink or flagellation, or you can just hurl the broken wretches onto the streets and pick up a fresh batch of chumps in the morning, saving you some precious cash. In a scathing commentary on the internship model, Darkest Dungeon encourages you to be heartless in order to beat back the otherworldly corruption that has infested the hamlet. And it's only when the realization sets in that you're treading down the same path as your ancestor do you realize that it's too late to stop. Besides, what's one more life in exchange for that nice shiny trinket, eh? Because it's freed from the
But you don't necessarily have to go down that path. You can be a very good guy to your heroes. Which I find interesting.
I don't think I ever finish the game. I just sort of played it for a bit. Oh, it's kind of cool, but it was a grind. Yeah, you're sitting through loads and loads of dungeons.
Yes.
From the shackles of a morality system, Darkest Dungeon's ethics are organic, slow burning, and aren't dictated by outside factors. You can choose to be a nice guy, saving or treating your favourite heroes to make them stronger, and not feel like you're playing the game wrong. But the option to become a monster is always going to be there, and that choice is made harder because you won't get a bad ending for giving in. Another example is Papers, Please, which excellently works in moral decisions by letting you choose how and to what extent you become corrupt. At its most simple, the game is about being a border control agent for a country that's definitely not Soviet Russia, and deciding who to let in and who to keep out. You're pretty much never going to be able to keep up with all of Arstotzka's regulations and pay your family's bills. So in order to make money, you're going to have to break the rules. The genius here is that Papers, Please lets you become moral arbiter of the whole country. Is it worth taking the payout for locking up an innocent man who's an arsehole? Should you work with terrorists in order to save your family? Honestly, I don't know. If a morality system that rewarded you for acting a certain way existed, these questions would have de facto answers, but they don't, which makes the simple yes or no choice way more engaging. The actually quite generous 2 free mistakes a day also gives you the opportunity to make ethical decisions like reuniting a husband with his wife even though her passport was invalid. Whilst the overarching morality of Papers is fairly simplistic, you need to become corrupt in order to survive, the smaller, more intimate decisions are loaded with moral nuance because you can only save or damn so many, but it's up to you to choose who, all while balancing your own needs.
I don't have
Papers,
much
Please
to say.
never
It's
says
kind
whether
of
you're a saint or a
explaining how the
sinner
game works.
because it knows that morality is so much more complex than.
Well, that's the game itself. It's just a series of like, oh, here's this scenario, here's this scenario. Very similar to that other game that came out later, where you're the king, and you either say yes or no to whatever crosses your throne.
Like, everything's just cut out. Like,
You've been cutting out for me.
Oh, really?
yeah, Smud.
Sorry.
Smud, are you there?
Hello
I'm
there.
back and I have an apple.
Hey, Zach.
Speak to us.
Hello. What'd I miss?
Oh, Papers, Please.
Smud just saying something, then cutting out halfway through, and everyone just sat there going, wait, what?
Well, it was silent for most of what he was saying.
Yeah.
Smud, were you saying that fuck it, I don't even care to make up a joke right now.
Well, you missed Papers, Please and Darkest Dungeon examples.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I just took a fucking migraine pill.
Oh, yeah. America. Drugs for everything, I know.
Well, yeah, it's just an Excedrin. It's fine. It's starting to feel the onset of a migraine, so I'm just like, no, thank you, please.
Huh? Okay.
Ooh.
Morality systems are an implicit judgment of the player. Even if they don't offer any sort of observable bonuses, there's almost always a right and a wrong way to interact with them. Instead, developers need to create ways of exploring the consequences of a player's decisions while leaving the right or wrong of it all up to their subjective experience.
I don't agree with the subjective experience part. I think that
I think if a developer wants to show the player their own moral framework in the story, go ahead. If they want to leave it open to the player, go ahead. I don't think they need to do either or. It depends on what they want to do.
I will say that sometimes the clearly, like, nope, if you want to be the good guy, you gotta do this thing.
Yes,
or if you want to be the bad guy, you gotta do this thing. And that's very clunky, and I don't always like that because it just sticks out like a neon sign to me every time I see it.
A game that does it very well is actually Ghost of Tsushima, where the character does certain things where you might heavily disagree, but it makes completely sense with the character.
Well, yeah,
So
if it makes sense for the character and given the context of everything and like knowledge that we know of, like, I can't think of an example, but just given knowledge that we have at the time, like, yeah, going down this route makes the most sense, but if it hurts my tummy too much, then I want to do that one.
I like the...
Those are interesting choices.
Yeah, I like the idea of your choices affecting things, multiple things at the same time, positively and negatively. I don't know if you guys remember that the guy who invented XCOM, he made his own Kickstarter game called Phoenix Point. And there's 3 factions in the game. One of them is like this hardcore American power faction. They're all about bullets and controlling things. Another one's about nature, but they're aligned with the aliens, so they want to like evolve humanity. And I think the other one is just pure science. So there's some choices you make that if you save something or destroy something, if it's based off power, the American weird power faction would love it, but maybe the science faction might love it too. But if you destroyed it, maybe the natural weird alien crossbreed people would hate it. So you have these wonderful choices you can make, like saving a base or destroying an alien, this or that affect factions differently, which is kind of what I wanted to see in New Vegas. Whereas New Vegas is just like, I do something for the Legion, they're going to like me more. Or I do something for House, he's going to like me more.
The Legion does have that, because I remember distinctly I did something for the Brotherhood, I want to say, and my NCR rating went down.
Right, but that's what I mean. You're always helping one faction, but the other factions hate it. That's not what I want.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You want it affects the world.
I want the factions to react
in
their
binary
own,
things.
Yeah, in their own unique way, because they say, "Oh, well, you blew up the bridge. That's good. Therefore, we're safer here, even though we like the power. But now the Legion won't come near us, and their plans are foiled, or whatever the case might be." So I wanted to see more of these choices that had multiple impacts, neither good or bad, directly to one character or to everyone else.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I do agree. I do agree that choices like that would it just improve quality so much. And I will say that I do like a more ambiguous morality system where you are, I guess, more or less rewarded for the choices that you would make, and the choices are natural.
Yes, natural is the main idea, but once you get to that level, like using non-lethal means, then it's no longer a morality system in the game, and you can track that in the game fine and say, okay, he's going to get a different ending like in Deus Ex, or a slightly different to dialogue in Deus Ex, but it should be more of a... Does this choice have weight? What's the weight? What's the narrative weight?
Yes.
What's the character weight? What's the faction weight? What's the... your side character weight? Like, what does it mean to everyone? I want them to have an input. And that's what I like to see. When you're about to do something, something happens. Like when you see the Telltale games, you do something, and for whatever narrative reason, the God narrative comes out and says, she will remember this. You're like, whoa, what happened? Like, I just opened the door. What are you talking about?
You called Hawk a bitch. Hawk will remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it turns out that I don't, because the writers didn't think that far ahead.
So it's like this all-powerful narrator just has insight into every single thing and tells the audience that. It's like, oh, okay, that's kind of helpful.
It's like it's like with like almost like with the the Until Dawn and that sort of stuff. Like when you talk to people, like they will remember this and they like this, and it just doesn't go anywhere actually.
Right, it worked. It worked for the episodic storytelling with like a Batman series and whatever, but like Wolf Among Us only had a few, so it was like, oh well, it's not going to go any further. So what's the point of remembering this scenario if they don't actually have it planned out? So, but that was the point of the game, was just to have all these interactions that impacted later events, which is what Alpha Protocol did. But Alpha Protocol did it with a third-person shooter, whole level design and other things involved. So it's what kind of game do you want? Do you want a narrative focused game? Do you want a bit of combat and action with narration and choices with dialogue? So it depends on the system, but morality, I think, is not black and white, and it should never be treated as such.
No.
Yes.
Some more great ways to integrate morality in this way could be to use Fallout's endgame slideshows to give the world and how you affected it a sense of permanence and cohesion beyond immediate gameplay reactions.
So I do like Fallout's little exit of just like, these people did this and you ignored these people so they all fucking died.
Right.
And these people, you banged every one of them and they all have STDs now. Like, that I like, but I would like to experience that shit in the game through my interactions and through the world and everything, instead of just the game God telling me at the end, the narrator telling me at the end of like,
doesn't it kind of amount to this, to the same as Smut said, like basically how they will remember that, but it's kind of at the end of the game, so hey, look at what's happened.
Yeah.
The question becomes, how much can you influence something to the point is like, I'm going to rebuild a village and it's turning to Metropolis like within like 2 months or whatever in real time. It's like, that's pushing it. So you have to make the choice you make have weight enough that is believable without having to like make this a base building sim when you really are trying to tell a story of the courier trying to deliver a package. So depending on what you want your game design to be. And that's the problem with scope creep. You don't want to have this game be ridiculously huge, and you want to expand upon it with later things like DLC and updates. So you have to be smart with your game design. You can't just say, I want to do everything. And Fallout 4 did base building and gave us the mechanic, but it amounted to nothing. It's like, oh, they're safer now. It's like, that's nice.
Smut dead.
He just died for me.
Yeah, he just died for me as well.
Oh no.
Rest in peace, our poor Canadian.
Rest in peace, Smut. No.
So anyway, since Smut died, I'm gonna go ahead and call dibs on his channel. Hello, 21,000 subscribers. You're all mine now. Welcome to the new Zach Smud Boy Reads channel. We're gonna be doing some fuck shit. Shit's gonna be real different around here, so get used to it.
Today's episode, the top 10 N-words.
There we go.
Down from number 10. Nit.
Karate.
Neat. Yeah.
Tomorrow we're gonna kick the shit out of Hawk. So stay tuned. Smash that like button.
Kick that like button.
Kick it? Oh.
My kind of channel.
Say the N-word at that like button.
In Minecraft.
Nice.
Or you could make the player juggle companion/faction reputation meters, which encourages...
Always kill the powder gangers. Always.
Yeah.
Who sides with the powder gangers? They are such a wussy.
Yeah.
The
Proton Stalker is saying, well, I could still hear Smud. Nobody cares what you could hear, Proton Stalker. I care.
The rest of us
It's subjective if you can hear Smud or not.
Yeah.
That's your opinion.
It's kind of funny how the game sets up the first mission to kill the powder gangers. It's like, oh,
yes.
I guess
you've been vilified. It's like, oh no. Anyway.
Like I think like the first time players, like I don't think like anyone wants to side with the powder gangers.
No, it's nobody fucking cares.
Yeah, it just see like half naked man. No.
It's like you have no weapons in the game. All you have is like a handful of dynamite. Chuck it at those motherfuckers, and just watch them blow up.
Oh, I just stormed them with the machete.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even have a machete. All I had was the dynamite on me, so I just like went over there and just started chucking it at them.
Zach, you're playing Fallout wrong.
You're wrong. Playing Fallout right. Yeeting dynamite at motherfuckers. Sorry, I don't play the game like a fucking pussy like you.
No, you.
All right.
I just go with my fist. Fuck shit up.
Oh, is it because you're not allowed to have guns in the UK? You just have to go around with your fists.
Yeah. We've learned.
They only believe in
Did
fisting.
you learn how to overthrow government tyranny? Because we did.
Yeah, we did.
The real question is, do you use VATS with unarmed?
No, we just
You're actually disgusting.
used
You're actually disgusting.
jars of Marmite, not vats.
Set them on fire and throw them at people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now
dear.
I'm just picturing, instead of unarmed, you're actually just walking around the Nevada wasteland with a jar of Marmite. Like, if any of you have seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you just throw that jar of Marmite as hard as you fucking can into somebody's head.
Coat your hands in Marmite before you start a fight to deal extra damage.
Got a license for those fists?
Yeah, I have, and it's come right through your jaw.
Well, you kind of think of these groups as like the.
I'll punch you in the face, innit?
Yeah.
What's the name for this?
Fucking deck here.
Like a sacrificial lamb. Like, what's the term for like these mini boss characters that just are there to allow you to kill them, and they're forgotten?
How the Genghis?
Yeah, they're just like stomp these guys out of existence.
You just look up TV tropes, and this is like a category.
Yeah, it's got to be like just eliminate these guys. They're useless. They're weak. There's just a lot of them. And all they have is dynamite going for them. Everything else sucks.
Yeah, you know usually when you get that Padagon and Gazvilla fight, oh, shame. Oh dear. She's just wiping the blood off of your boots.
It's always that they're so weak. Your companion, either like Veronica, just punches the crap out of them and they just explode, or what's his name, just snipes them and they're gone within seconds. It's like, what are these?
Yeah.
Boone, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, check me out. I'm voicing the radio.
Now there are two of them.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Oh no.
Stop it.
This is
They're
getting out of
reproducing.
hand.
They're reproducing.
Oh no.
How does it feel to have a contender voice?
There can be only one.
Oh,
Let your voice be heard.
all right. Well, that's fair.
Because you were here first, I'll just let you have it. It's fine.
You could always try
I
to
don't
wanna
sound
step on
like
your toes or anything.
Wayne Newton, the voice of Mr. New Vegas. That would be even better.
You sounded like you were in a metal box in the sky.
Hey, Mr. New Vegas here to let you know I love you.
I'm trying to. Not quite Mr. New Vegas.
No.
I don't remember what he sounds like. Last time I played New Vegas was like 6 years ago.
Oh, we don't know Wayne Newton? Oh, come on.
I'm
All right.
I never finished New Vegas.
The American.
Get the fuck out of here, crazy.
How many games do we have to tell you guys to play? Like, there's so many games. There's like New Vegas, Bloodlines.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I mean, it just didn't grab me, okay? Alright.
No mercy, no respite.
Especially Deus Ex 2. That's a really good game.
Okay.
Well, which one is that? Human Revolution or Mankind Divided?
No, Invisible War.
Oh. Oh yeah, right.
where everything was dumbed down for at the Xbox.
Oh boy.
I always forget
It's like-
about Deus Ex 2. I remember there was like the original one.
Like, apparently they had to make the resolution so like the dialogue box can take like half the screen, because they were like calculating that people would just like look at their TVs and like, oh, can I read it from there? No, like we need to like make this bigger.
Wait, what? How?
This is Deus
Joe
Ex 2.
Crazy
Like the
just
hard,
said that I
hard in
sounded
that
like
game.
Joe Crazy
the
said
only
I
game
sounded
that
like
has
John
circular
Henry
hunting.
Eden from Fallout 3. So it's like, this is your president, John Henry Eden. Stay strong, America.
At least it wasn't Liam Neeson from Fallout 3. That would be worse.
Oh. Yeah.
Liam Neeson was in Fallout 3?
Yeah.
What?
He's your
Yeah.
dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
also never finished Fallout 3.
Did you not notice with the voice of Liam Neeson and the fact that you look like fucking Liam Neeson?
No, because Fucking, I don't pay attention, apparently.
The very memorable character of Qui-Gon Jinn.
I just realized I never finished any of the 3D Fallout games.
Oh my god.
Also,
Oh my god,
What game did you
teach this lesson?
every time I think about Fallout 3, I just remember a conversation I was having with my girlfriend at the time. It was like we were talking about Dead Man Wonderland, an anime that I've never seen and probably never will. But that name always pops in my head whenever I think about Fallout 3. Just because of a conversation I had.
I've never played a Fallout game.
You never played it? Oh my god, how many times do you have to teach this lesson?
Don't play the Fallout games because they're not all that great. Go play New Vegas.
Don't play the Fallout games because they're not all that great. Go play New Vegas. Okay.
Fallout New Vegas is like barely related to the other 5 Fallout games.
Thank God.
You're not exactly selling it to me.
Well,
Yeah.
that's because Fallout New Vegas is good. The others are kind of shit.
I will never dispute that it's good. It just doesn't grab me at all.
I mean,
It doesn't grip me. I am ungripped.
Grip me.
Hey, look.
English is my
Walk
second
in
language.
that game?
Definitely get some mods to make it look better because it's very outdated.
You and your...
Yeah, the
But
mod
voice is
community is
outdated.
fucking tits, man.
It goes deeper than the graphic.
You go
Dude,
deeper
play
than the
Fallout New
graphics.
Vegas, it gets good
Yeah?
after
Well-
I do.
the 100th mod.
What if I say
Fallout
I
New
really
Vegas, you can
dis-
play on its own and it's really good, but yet if you care about aesthetics, then just mod it so it looks better.
Well-
Okay.
What if I really dislike the art direction and art style?
Of
what if you
what
really
the
hate
mod
it?
or
No,
I don't
just
like that
Fallout
everything
in-
looks so
Fallout
muddy.
in general.
well, don't
if you
play
hate
it
it, then this is where I say with New Vegas, the story goes the art style and graphics. But
Well-
it's you in it.
I will. The main thing why it never gripped me that much was I just don't enjoy the gameplay.
Yeah,
I just don't enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's why I stopped. That's why I didn't finish.
I'm
I won't
not really
dispute that it's good.
I'm not really going to come round to Switzerland and kick your ass for not playing Fallout.
Well, I'll kick you out.
Fallout is
You
definitely
could-
not one of the games I'll die on a hill for.
I mean, you can try and come kick my ass. It just won't probably. You probably won't succeed.
Well,
Do you
Yeah,
not
the
remember
horror
that
succeeds.
yesterday he talked about studying like 14 different martial arts? You dumb
yeah,
motherfucker.
but
I did study
he'll be
4 different martial arts.
Oh.
All I know
I'm gonna
is he'll
stick
go
with
to his
14.
mailbox. He'll go to his
That's why
mailbox.
you bring a gun.
And there'll be an envelope. Yeah, there'll be an envelope. And all it'll say is,
Imagine training your entire life to be like Jet Li or some shit, and then some motherfucker just shoots you.
imagine training all your life to be like Jet Li, then a British guy shoots you. It's like, fucking irony.
With a musket while wearing a red coat.
Yeah.
Fun
Yeah,
fact: our
3D
gun laws are
printed
very similar to the US gun laws.
Yeah.
Oh, like
Yet we have
literally anything
we have
goes
had
then.
3 mass shootings in our entire history, and not more than like
Listen,
2 or
like
3
10
people
years
died
old.
from mass shootings.
Switzerland's
Wow,
like
you
10
are-
years old. That
you're-
doesn't even count.
Your mass shooters are really bad. Switzerland's
Yes, they
10
are.
years.
You
Switzerland's
also
10
have to-
years old.
Also, only
Need
one
some
of those
government money for the aim.
only one of those 3 mass shootings. 2 were after the 1900s, but only one was in the 21st century.
Oh, wow.
I think
not bad.
so. We're getting into dangerous territory here, but I think a lot of like the mass shooting and like I guess the gun.
Oh,
violence
shit, yeah,
problem
sorry,
in
Smut.
America. The gun violence problem in America, I think, has to do with the culture in America, where everything is deeply divisive.
Oh
Yeah.
god. Yeah, and you excellent exporting that.
Yeah, that's
And
something we
yeah.
export is the D word. This
Democracy?
no
Morality.
strife.
Oh.
Morality in
That's another
video
word for
games.
strife.
And To be fair, people in Switzerland are too high on absinthe and chocolate to shoot correctly. They don't have any
I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle, jangle. There, I've read your super chat, so you don't have to.
Thank you, Nostalgia Quick.
All right, Jet. Let's keep going, okay?
Them to consider.
I just imagine Smud banging his head up against a wall every time we go on a tangent.
Be on a more interpersonal level. The right thing to do isn't always popular, after all. These two approaches are great because they add depth without making a judgment of the decisions themselves. They're just another way the consequences can manifest. Which of course isn't to say that games with morality systems are just straight up bad, they're not. Frostpunk in particular is really enjoyable. I really like that game, but it just doesn't deliver on its promise of exploring the kind of person you become when pushed to the brink.
I would just love it if he explained what he meant by that. If he explained what would make it good, or what makes it bad, or what makes this great or that bad.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know nothing about Frostpunk, and he hasn't really said anything about it other than, yeah, it doesn't do the thing very good.
It's
anyway.
Well, he said it this decision at sorry.
It's basically a survival sim, but it's based on the concept of having a city that's the last vestige of humanity, and you're doing moral choices like we got to ration food or we got to make a police force, but then the police force becomes religious. And the problem is that it's not so much morality, you're just a dictator in every capacity. So what do you do?
Oh, so you have to like regulate society.
Right. Do you have curfews? Do you have rationing of soup and this sort of thing? So
it's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's just what do you do to keep people alive? And his example was you throw a guy into the whatever you call this engine, kid to keep it going.
No, it's not a guy, a small child.
Yeah,
which,
whatever.
Let's be honest, we all would.
Yeah, well. If you're talking about humanity, it's kind of like, oh, I would sacrifice one person for the rest of. Yeah, I mean,
obviously,
I'd sacrifice 100 small children.
Yeah, I know.
Dying children.
And then if someone told me, we all
agree that dying children isn't funny unless you're watching, because that shit's hilarious.
It gets.
Well, it's.
I'm getting flashbacks to season 6 of Game of Thrones.
Oh, jeez! It gets to the point.
Or is it season 5?
It gets to the point where you have, like, you start unearthing technology, and you have these giant alien walkers in your city that act as like policemen / making everyone happy and
hold on, wait, time out, Smud, time out. Look at what's on screen right now. I see wooden fucking ramshackle houses.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that we get Half-Life 2 alien walkers just roaming around?
Eventually, yeah.
Oh my god.
It's cool. It's a cool game. Yeah.
I don't know what you're confused about, Zach. It's clearly logical.
I have to play this game. Nothing can stop me from playing this game now.
Well, it's like going back to, obviously I was going to make a joke about when voicing about killing kids. Zach will understand. Watching the Dollars trilogy. We've agreed that the films get better because in the first one they only shoot at a child, in the second one they shoot a child off screen, and the third one's the best one because they kill a kid on screen. We're all saying the films get better.
All right, here's Mateus.
So,
Switzerland is a paradise. Also blame Hawk. I'm not sure what we're blaming Hawk for. What happened?
I get blamed every single Smudcast I'm on.
Oh. All right.
All of them? Like the past 10?
Whatever.
It's just been blamed.
Sellout?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, Titanic Tuna. Hello.
Here is Fran Mataraki. Thanks for the donation. Tell Zach to stop sniffing gasoline like Jessica White.
No. Don't tell me what to do. You're not my fucking dad.
Yeah. You didn't go out.
Does gasoline actually smell good to anybody? Because I think it smells good.
Yep. I actually kind of like the smell.
Yeah. Unironically, I actually like the smell of gasoline.
It's not healthy, guys. Petroleum is bad. Do not smell. Do not inhale.
Well, I mean,
well,
if you're at the gas station and it's just like you're filling up your car, you just take a little whiff.
I'm not putting a petrol
fine.
pump up my fucking nostrils, Smud.
I'm not either. I'm just saying you
don't
get a
have to
whiff.
put it up
It's
your
nice.
nostrils. You just have to put it up your mouth and drink.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then light a cigarette. That's the best.
Have you guys
when
seen
you finished.
Zoolander, right?
Yes.
Just
everybody knows.
Just what's that scene from what's that show? He's an idiot, but he's a model.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Zoolander. Yeah.
Zoolander. Yeah, that scene. Oh my god.
Yeah. It is Zoolander. Yeah.
They're just spraying each other with gasoline.
Gasoline fight.
Oh my god.
Industrial paint is way better to sniff. No, that's the stuff you drink. It's the good shit.
Yeah.
I drink all your paint.
God.
Anyway, yes, I think Frostpunk is a cool game. It's nothing spectacular. Lots of choices to make, but it's nothing morally it's always a bad scenario. So everything's a bad choice. So there's nothing really.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's nothing good.
Oh, I mean, wait, is there like? Well, we'll talk about it later.
All right.
Let's keep it later.
Games with morality systems are much better
those
at conveying
graphics!
a single message reinforced by tying it into the mechanics. In the case of Frostpunk, this would be the sickly sweet allure of fascism. Undertale is
no.
What?
You are a dictator in this game. You're a dictator in so many games, though. Like Civilization, you're a dictator.
Yeah.
So it's not fascism. It's literally there's literally religion that can take over the city, and they all like love their leader, and that's kind of fascist. But there's no ownership of property. There's no. It's like you want to live, do this.
Even in see, like even in the crappy Tropico games, you are a dictator, regardless of how nice you are.
Exactly.
But that fascism came like out of right field.
It kind of did, yeah. I would not call. We're talking about a tribe of people in a village of the last of humanity. I think politics is not exactly something that. Oh yeah, maybe we should try fascism. It's like no. We want to eat.
Not fascism, but you should try communism.
Yeah.
Try communism. It's great. Also, Titanic Tuna. Yeah, it's Adam Millard, the architect of games. He's also verified.
All right. Matthias, how's it going? Wait, Zach smells gasoline. I thought gasoline was on his blood.
I love Matthias's broken English.
Yeah, it's great.
I feel like
never learn proper English, Matthias, because you have no idea how much I appreciate it.
In his veins.
I think that Zach was
on
like
my blood,
working in the garage all this time in the military or something, and he's just like spilling oil all over.
So being in the military, I will probably have cancer in like 10 years, so it's fine.
Okay.
Well, I work around, but I worked with UAS, which is drones.
Oh, cool.
And there's like a lot of radiation, like as in electromagnetic radiation, that just basically slow cooks you. So I'm probably gonna get cancer in like 10 years.
Or turn into a ghoul, like in Fallout.
Ooh.
I fucking hope so.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
I have that awesome voice as well.
Here's Matthias again.
Hey, smooth skin.
Oh no. Crappy tropical games, cancel Hawk. Oh. Are they that bad? I have no idea.
Wait, what? They're average.
They're okay.
Okay. They're fine.
No, I am gonna play.
It's just there are too many of them now.
Total War Warhammer 2. I got that on the old Christmas sale.
Wait.
On Steam.
So who was it who did the super chat? Do they think the Tropico games are good then, or
Matthias?
Matthews?
Message coming in.
What?
Patching it through.
Yell at the Brazilian later. It's fine.
Okay. We'll worry about South America
I
some
can
other
say
time.
that Brazilians aren't real.
Holy crap, there are many.
We gotta listen to him about Undertale now.
Oh, great.
Joe Crazy, survivalist mentality equals fascism. Nani? Well, I mean, he's not inherently wrong, but there's elements of fascism that has totalitarianism. But again, you are a dictator. Oh, thanks, Zach. That's.
Thanks, Zach.
I love Smud.
You interrupted Smud.
Thanks.
You interrupted Smud. That was rude.
So, yeah. So fascism has like one element to it, which is released as a form of control, which happens to be dictatorship because you're the player character. There's no committee. You're not one vote, like in those civilization games where you have like one vote on the council and everyone else votes their own way. It's not like that. You are the player. You say what goes.
I like Titanic Tuna has been bringing the heat in chat, but he posted, why do people think full control equals fascism? Dictators can also be quite benevolent. It depends on the person, i.e. Smudboy and Raging Golden Eagle would probably govern their nations very differently.
Well, this is the thing that Orwell was talking about back in his time. People started calling people fascists, and the word had almost no meaning. And it's the same thing as today. It's just used ubiquitously to say that I don't like this person or I am against this person. That's about it. It could mean anything. So that's the problem with language that Orwell was very, very sensitive about. So complex words and political charged words and this and that, just because they have a stigma attached to them. Therefore bad.
And we all know that Smud would be a tyrannical dictator if he had the chance.
Yeah, every time I go online, people that are calling Trump this or this other political leader that. It's like, really? Come on. We have history what those words mean. So I really dislike when people start calling people communist without understanding what exactly is communism in that regard, or socialist, or Nietzschean, or sorry.
There's so many uninformed people when it comes to shit like
that. Yeah.
I agree.
Come on, just give in to your inner movie, Bob.
Oh yeah.
I apologize for interrupting, but I just realized something. Has the YouTuber answered the question of if morality systems are making us less moral?
No.
We're 3 minutes from the end of this video.
As we said in the beginning,
I'm very curious. Are they making it more?
Well, as we said in the beginning, video games.
This is like a good start to a video. So far, I'm really liking like his breakdown of morality, but he's not. I guess the word I would use is substantiating hardly any of it.
Right. So what we were talking about at the beginning before we started was the concept of video games influencing you to do something. So we talked about violence. We know that's not the case. But we do know video games cause you to have fun. Yeah. So that's a positive thing. So we could argue, if it's a positive thing, because video games can make you have fun, that morality could be a good thing, and therefore it could influence the good aspects of your morality. You are interacting with virtual worlds. You could be making choices that could make you say, hey, I should probably be nice to my friends because in this scenario, I didn't kill the little girl because I didn't want to, and therefore I'm like that's sort of mental feedback. So it's like, all right, positive things might work from video games, but there's no that I can see. There's no influence from video games causing you to do negative things. So
no,
yes, I will agree, but I've talked plenty.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, yeah. I don't do bad things because of video games. I do bad things because I do bad. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, carry on.
I do bad things.
Well, one thing I would say, it's just that also that I think they can certainly shift certain levels as in positive, but I don't think consuming media ever will completely change your fundamental moral beliefs, like the very, very base stuff.
Yeah. I honestly find it difficult to do negative
video game or any story really that could change my foundation.
You were talking over each other. I don't know what either of you said.
One at a time, please.
Sorry.
Hawk, you can go.
Oh, I'll go. Yeah, what I was going to say is, in real life, I find it very difficult to actually, with morality
Message coming in.
to do the bad
Patching it through.
choices. I just can't bring myself to do it, and that's from my own moral system. So video games really don't make me less moral, to be honest.
Yeah,
I've already got one built in. Yeah.
Yeah. No. There's certain pieces of media, like you have your favorite movie or video game, and you remember the scenes, and you know why you like them. Like I'll take my favorite, like The Princess Bride. There's so many reasons to like that movie, and there's one thing I liked in there where the way that Wesley expresses his love, even though he doesn't actually say "I love you," he's saying "as you wish," and that's a subtle little way of saying one thing but meaning another thing as well. And that's the kind of thing. I was like, you know what? When you find someone you care about, you just, yeah, of course I love you. So it doesn't matter what I say. It's just always going to be a positive reaction to their whatever they want. Like, get me a picture, get me this. It's like, yeah, of course. So that I liked, just to see this concept of love, even though, whatever true love is, I'm not going to learn, of course that's what true love is. I learned it from a movie. No. It's the reaction to the idea of true love, which I thought, okay, this is the complete devotion to this one person.
Yeah.
And that was like, that's a nice little example. So whenever you do find, not to say I'm going to find this, amazing woman, I'm going to say "as you wish" all the time. That'd be kind of silly. But but the fact that you are devoted that strongly to someone, just in this sweet, innocent sort of way, and you understand what that means. So that, to me, is a very poignant little moment in The Princess Bride, aside from being a very fun movie to watch.
Oh yeah, it is.
Remember when movies were good?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Zach.
The 80s.
Yeah. I'll get you a hot cocoa. Just put your blanket on. You can go to sleep, you old man.
Hot cocoa and whiskey. There you go.
Yeah. and tomorrow you can shout at some clouds.
All right, let's talk about.
Stop being mean to me.
Good.
Undertale, right? That's the next thing up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the next thing. Yeah.
Game all about it, and it's got the most simplistic binary moral choice system of all time. You just choose between kill or be killed. I'll avoid giving away the twists and turns, but by leaning into this and encouraging players to commit to either style, Undertale can tell two completely distinct stories, each approaching the idea of determination from two different directions. Not only would a more organic, consequence-driven Undertale have been impossible to make, but
the one thing that has kind of become clear by the fan reaction is that the pacifist route is mostly seen as the better route. So So that would then come back to what he critiqued before. That one thing is obviously better, so we want to try to achieve that.
Yeah. So it's not an actual morality system that makes you think. It's just like, which is the ending I want.
Yeah, well, it doesn't tell you that there's that. It's just that as soon as you've played through it and you try it again or look anything about the game, you know that it will be there. So at least it does that different than, for example, Mass Effect, where Mass Effect clearly shows you the Renegade and
Blue and Red.
Paragon.
Yeah. No, it really was.
But here it's just a choice between fighting and not fighting, so you can talk to everybody. So I have actually seen a lot of people accidentally stumbling into pacifist routes because they were like, talking, I've never done that, and I've never seen that option in a game, so let me do that. And then they do it the first time and like, that's really fun, so let's do that again.
Yeah.
Arch Warhammer's channel was deleted.
Yep.
Really?
Oh.
That was...
Wow.
Oh. What?
That's the super chat, sorry.
Apparently his channel packed with... And it was a Bitcoin scam thing, and so YouTube just struck it with all the mights they have.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Oh man.
All right, super chat time. No worries, Hawk. I know Tropico is an average franchise. We all know Anno 1800 is better. Is that Anno Domini 1800 or is that just Anno 1800?
Yeah. I think most of the Anno... I don't know. Yes.
1800. Yeah, Anno 1800, yeah. It's a Ubisoft game. It's from Canada. Wow.
Hey.
Oh.
Yeah, Ubisoft is Canada, isn't it?
Multiple countries, but yeah, it is in Canada as well.
Ubisoft is Canada, and like all the Canadian flags is dropped down, and it's revealed Ubisoft actually controls everything.
Justin Trudeau is the CEO of Ubisoft.
Well, no, the Canadian flag is taken down and the French flag is raised.
And then quickly taken down because no one likes the French.
When they look up and go, sorry, wrong one.
Smut, explain to me, why is one part of your country convinced that they're French?
They have all the hot women.
Well,
is it just they're living somewhere shit and it's a natural reflex action?
I think they've adapted to the cold in Quebec so well that it's just like, all right, we got to whore ourselves out even in the frigid winter, which is like 8 months of the year. So it's like, all right.
Well, at least you only have the French taking part of your country. We have to share it with the Italians as well, and then the Romansh as well.
Yeah, but that's awesome. I mean, Italians
God
make
bless
everything
the
better.
Swiss. Look at the fucking situation they're in. Germans to the right of them, French to the left of them, Austrians above, Italians down below. You'd never
The
shift.
Germans are above, and the Austrians are right.
I don't know
okay.
geography.
Learn
But you'd never set them
geography,
flat.
idiot.
I don't need to learn geography.
But yeah.
I won 2 world wars.
Get geographied.
Well, that's one thing where I actually kind of find there's a funny equivalence with the Canadians, with us, with having like a different speaking part of the country.
Yeah.
It is, bilingualism is a bit strange. It's taught to kids in grade school, and it's not completely optional, but there comes a point where it's like, all right, you don't have to do it anymore. It's like, all right, great. So.
Oh well, no, we are super strict when it comes to our education. We're like, you take French or fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Voice will agree. In the UK, we have that same problem with Liverpool, since no one can understand a word they say.
Oh,
So-
God, no.
Nobody cares. You live on a tiny
Do you get
island.
to
Just speak
have
the
lessons
same.
just for each accent in your country?
No, because most
Might as
accents
well.
sound the same, but the Scouse accent, I mean,
That's a weird one.
good lord.
It's kind of strange in
Yeah.
Canada
wanted to
because
divide Switzerland amongst 3 different countries.
I don't know if you guys
Geordie.
know French or European French. It's different than what we teach in Canada. Ours is like old school Napoleonic French or whatever. Where it's all formal.
All right.
So when you go over to France and you start speaking it, they're like, "What the hell is wrong with you? Like, why are you talking with all these old inflections and what have you?"
Yeah.
So
Also, there's also a bit fun thing we have, even with the accents that are quote unquote German, even though the Germans think it's not German because it sounds so drastically different. There are some accents that even we just like don't understand. So we,
Message coming
on
in.
top of having different languages, we also have different accents that sometimes nobody apart from the people speaking them understand. So we basically have the whole package available.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
see, that's one good thing. At least the Germans have stopped trying to take places that sounded vaguely German. They've improved a little bit.
True enough.
Yes,
Yeah.
Poland.
You've got to respect the
true German
Germans.
country.
Respect the Germans. They tried twice. 2 cracks at the world title.
Yeah, that's more than most people do. That's more than most people get.
oh,
Yeah.
anyway.
Most characters get written out of the sequel.
Oh. Here's Joe Crazy.
Message coming
I
in.
would recommend a
Patch
video
it
from Arch to have a better understanding of fascism. Unfortunately, his channel was hacked and deleted. Yeah, we just
Oh,
realized
for
that.
fuck's sake.
What?
We already knew that, Zach. It's okay.
Yeah,
We talked about
Okay,
that
Zach, don't
5
worry.
minutes ago. It's all right.
yesterday.
Anyway,
What was that?
It's a police siren voice. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
That's just the Fallout ending.
Zach looked up barnacle penises yesterday,
no.
and obviously the police are after him.
First of all, don't misrepresent me. I looked up Barnacle Rule 34.
Okay,
Zach, you can do
so
that
I was correct.
anytime. It's up to you. All right. Mateus again. I tried to do a Swiss run on Victoria 2. I had to declare bankruptcy. Wow. Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
You didn't keep to a banking secret then.
Yeah.
What did you invest in? What did you buy? Grain?
No, that's actually one thing where our banks work so well, and why a lot of people love our banks. We have a very strict banking secrecy agreement that no bank will give any information to any other country. So if you have a Swiss bank account at a very good bank, they will not give any of your information to your home country, even if you do something illegal.
Damn, I'm gonna go to Switzerland and have a bank account there.
I'm not sure if I think they don't change it because our banks are extremely strict on that, and we got in pretty hot water a couple of years ago about that because of some US people. But I think they kept it.
I'm back, by the way. The FBI decided to leave. By the way, for anybody wondering what that is, there's a police station like less than a block away from me, and for some reason it apparently used to be a fire station, so they just have these fucking nuclear sirens on top of a telephone pole, and every time the police get a call or they roll out, the sirens go off, and nobody in this fucking town can give me a good reason why.
Okay.
It's just there. I've written like the town hall about this. I went to a town hall meeting.
There's your problem, Zach. You can't.
I'm a fucking boomer. All right. I went to a town hall meeting and bitched about the damn siren, and they're like, whatever. Yeah, we hear about it every 5 minutes. We don't care.
Dude, it's part of our culture.
It's part of our culture. I'm like, listen. An axe is going to be part of your culture when I take that axe and chop down that fucking telephone pole so I never have to hear that siren again.
All right. Joe Crazy. We have something similar to Quebec in the States. The only difference is that Louisiana doesn't want to be its own thing.
That's true.
Oh, boy. They must have some really different culture down there.
Well, they used to be like a French
there's some culture there,
company or logging like village or whatever the fuck.
Louisiana
seems like mostly French. Submerged in water.
Well, ever since the accident. The accident's what I refer to as Katrina.
Oh, I thought you meant like the French and the Africans and the Spanish and the Native Americans and, whoever else lives down there.
That accident.
Yeah, they got
America.
They have some weird ass
country.
It's like, we'll just do whatever.
Best way to describe America: a brilliant idea that's gotten way out of hand.
Yeah.
Well, that's not wrong. I mean, that was the point.
Yeah.
Freedom, whatever, do whatever. It's like, yep, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like today.
And it ended up with whatever side it is.
And then they allowed the Irish in.
Oh.
So it went downhill.
Well, Creole cuisine is actually pretty cool. So is its culture. So I don't mind it. You just have to be in the mood.
So you cut out for me again.
Oh, sorry. I was talking about Creole, the culture.
Oh.
The Cajun spices and all the music and interesting ways of looking at religion. Yeah, no, they're great. Good stuff. All right, we got 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes left.
Yeah,
we're doing good. We're doing fine. Yeah.
No, oddly enough, I've had a lot of fun.
The game's extremely focused message, which brings me to Quarantine Circular, as well as Subsurface Circular. These 2-hour narrative experiences are defined by the fact that they both contain circles? Yeah, weird choice on that one. In actuality, they're games that explore high-concept sci-fi ideas in little isolated packages, letting you play with the ethical quandaries involved, challenge your preconceptions, and feel like you're in a good 10% of Star Trek episodes. These games, mostly for budgetary reasons, don't actually have that much in the way of branching choices or big flashy cutscenes. They're pretty much just people talking.
Okay, so Do you remember the old school like text adventure games?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
Yeah, the
literally
graphics
what
are
this
awful.
is. That's
Yeah, the
literally
graphics
what
awful.
this is.
Why did you play
Except,
them then?
shut up. So that's literally what this is. But I guess you have a cutscene in the background showing what's happening.
Yeah.
Like I don't really.
Morality of Gumbo.
Well, I wouldn't
So
call
he-
it. I wouldn't call it Swiss Family Robinson, where it's like you have to figure out how to make a fire by typing out, like pick up sticks, and all that crap. But it's a more streamlined approach to a visual novel, whereas it's just dialogue, and you have a really cool little background event happening. So I don't mind.
Also, from what I'm seeing, sorry.
I was saying narrative-driven games, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's all they are, and you have to respect it for what it is. It's not like you're going to jump into that robot and start shooting the other guy if he acts up, right? It's just like, no, we're talking it out.
Yeah.
But this makes me then ask: does this game even have "quote unquote" a morality systems, or does it just give you choices that are moral?
Right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have branching dialogue options.
Well,
Like,
it would have
honestly,
to have.
It's not much of a game.
No, Zach, it would have to have branching dialogue options unless it is just a visual novel, which I don't think it is.
Well, he's specifically said it doesn't have branching dialogue options, so I don't really know.
Well,
what he means.
Message coming
massive changes to the story, but it seems like it has some. But at least in the very beginning, he said there are some choices. But then again, in what way? How far would that then be a morality system? If it just is the gameplay, just the general gameplay system that just happens to have moral choices in it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have to know exactly what the system is, and we look at. I can do the same with dialogue systems in multiple games, and say why they work and why they don't. But some of them are controlled by a morality system, which gets in the way, as opposed to a skill system like we see in the various Icewind Dale or the Black Isle style games with D&D rules, or Fallout or that sort of thing. So that we can talk about because that unlocks choices to be made because it makes sense. Oh, you have enough charisma to roll the dice. Or actually, no. Some games did that later where you may have the stat to enable the choice, but you have to roll, like we saw with Baldur's Gate 3, for the thing to actually see if you can pass a check, which I think is annoying. Because if you have the stat, you should be able to pull it off. But no, you got to roll the dice.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious, because some of the choices you make early on in the game, which I've seen from playthroughs, I haven't played the game, but if you have a high enough wizard intel stat, because you roll a wizard, and you want this guy to like poke around in your brain to cure you of the thing, if you roll a 20 and you manage to get him to do it, he kills you, and the game ends. And you want to be the best wizard you can be. It's like, I want to roll a 20. Oh, on int, of course I'm going to roll a 20. I'm amazing. I have my int stat the highest. Boom, game over.
What? Okay.
All right then.
Yeah. So fantastic game. I haven't played it. I'm sure people love it. It's still in beta, I think, so it hasn't released yet properly.
Yeah. Some things that are fine in like pen and paper, like the dice rolls and everything, might not be very fun in a video game.
Yeah.
All right, Matthias, how's it going again? Good game with morality is Fable. Okay, I'm thinking of Fable 3.
Oh yeah, the Fable. Fable 2 was quite a good with the morality.
Well, I'm reminded of the God games that now we're talking about Peter Molyneux that he's known for. So he has the black and white, literally black and white, where you play a good or evil god. So the Fable morality was kind of like, I'm going to shake your hand in a very weird handshaky way, make a mini game out of that.
Yeah.
Or what's the other one? I'm gonna fart in your general direction? I can't remember all the.
Yeah, just grab your head and shove it into my ass. That was one thing.
Oh, all right.
Fable 2 was a lot better than Fable 3, with how it dealt with stuff. And that was you made choices with things that it wasn't like a good or bad. Well, it was good or bad, but it didn't really. I don't know how to word.
Well,
what I'm
okay.
say about. I like Fable 2. It was an alright game. I'm just struggling to describe it.
Yeah, with Fable 3, the system was very one-sided again, with like black and white. But everything at the end, which had to do with choices, like what do you do? Do you help these people or not? Was all based.
Those choices were ridiculous.
They were so dumb. They were like, do you have enough money? Yes, you can do it. Do you have enough money? Yeah. Like that was the whole point of the game. A massive fortune.
Yeah, you had to get money. Yeah.
Get as much money as you can.
It got to the point where,
you're grinding.
Bad choices would have came out to be the good choices.
Yeah, all you're doing is grinding for money. So you have this massive, like Scrooge McDuck pile of money, and then you go and win the game, become the king, and then after that, the game's not over. Now you gotta make choices, and if you have enough money, you win. You get all the good endings options. You're like, so morality is being rich. Really? Okay. I mean, I guess.
and the major problem is if you bought houses to start with and became like a property magnate, you'd win the game automatically, regardless of your choices.
Yeah, you have to pretty much collect rent, running around and collecting rent, and Well, John Cleese is like, very good. Money is good. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, wonderful.
That's how I won.
I bought everything.
It was a bit like, okay. This is why I say Fable 2 is the best of the series.
It probably is. Yeah, it's more intelligent.
Also, the part of the game that I hated the most was when you had to like go south across the sea, where like the darkness was, and you had to go through like the shitty cities and everything.
Well,
I hated that entire section of the game.
Yeah, I always enjoyed how they tried to make it like a nursery rhyme, fairy tale sort of thing. Like that's a nice,
like a Fable.
Fable 3, I think, had the more production value for that, to make it feel like it's
Fable.
Sorry?
Like a Fable.
Well, yeah, that was the idea. So
yeah, like a Fable. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So
the fairy tale. Fable. Okay, fuck it.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one, Zach.
Thank you for the synonym, Zach. We got you the first time. So they hired John Cleese. They did all this other stuff. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, sure. Defeat the darkness.
They hired loads of people for that game. British voices, and it was just a bit like, ugh, okay.
I know all these games, all these movies have high production values. They hire great people, and it's like, oh, that's what you're doing with it. All right. So
yeah.
Oh, that's how quaint.
I thought Fable 3 had a good upgrade system too.
It had fun mechanics, all kinds of good stuff, but it was just so simplistic at the end. You're like, really, all my choices mount to money? Are you serious?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I agree.
In many ways, it's this minimalism that allows the game to focus purely on morality and ethics. It's stuff like the shifting perspectives and unanswered questions that added depth to these choices, not clunky feedback loops and arbitrary filling rewards. With no combat, statistics, or any real challenge at all to get in the way, the only motivating factor behind your decisions is whatever you think the right thing to do is. Outside of video games, there are no story routes, no statistic.
Yeah, that's so. My criticism of his argument here is that's not a game. That is a story. That is a choose-your-own-adventure story.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's the same.
How does that relate to the morality of, say, Frostpunk or Dishonored?
Well, look at Detroit Become Human. That's the same idea as what he said, only with a heck of bigger budget and more characters and more chapters. So you're doing
gameplay.
Yeah, there is some detective work, but it's you're just looking for the highlighted object. You click on it, and then you get more story beats. And that is the game. That is the gameplay. It's a visual novel with a book that you're reading, and then to turn the page, you got to throw the book across the room and then go pick it up again, and you can read the next page, and it's just you keep doing that over and over again.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No.
Well, fun is subjective.
Right, but that's the same exact example of the Telltale series, where you're Batman, but you're running around a level looking for clues. That's what you do. There's QuickTime events.
You see, Smudge, you keep saying you're Batman. You spend 90% of those games as Bruce Wayne. you just wandering around looking at stuff.
Yeah,
you don't really play as Batman.
It's pure drama.
So, I would say that this dude's logic, but at least his approach to this topic is fairly flawed, because he's holding up this fucking text adventure as the end-all be-all of morality systems.
Maybe
likes it
maybe he simply likes the choices because they make him think about moral issues without actually having a moral system in them. As I don't think that game is so complicated that you're accumulating moral points, positive or negative or whatever.
Yeah.
So
it's all he can focus on, is what you're saying?
That's the best example he's got, and there's no morality system in that game. It's just branching narrative.
It's a branching narrative,
right?
Thing, and then it just sort of leaves you to sit and think, oh, maybe this is how I see myself.
Maybe I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, it doesn't present you with like a reward or anything at the end. It's just it just leaves you to contemplate on the way you look at life, or the way you act.
Yeah.
Which is
the real treasure was the friends we made along the way.
You sit there, you contemplate existence, and then you open your bag of cheesy Wotsits, and you don't give a shit anymore.
I'm sure most of us do that in the shower every morning anyway, and we don't need a 2-hour long choose a branching discussion game.
No, I sing chirpy tunes to annoy my neighbours when I'm in the shower.
I think about the inevitable heat death of the universe.
Oh,
I do that. I think of like imaginary conversations, just like how I wish a conversation would have gone.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh shit, that would have been really good if I'd said that there.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
If only I had thought of this 14 hours ago. Fuck.
God, if only I'd thought about 15 years ago. I could have.
Then Jenny would have gone to prom with me. Fuck.
Yeah.
Jenny will remember this.
Yeah, Jenny remembers this.
Jenny will remember this.
Like, just like.
Jenny doesn't remember me. It's fine. Argument. It's fine. Jenny, I miss you.
I'm legit awful when it comes to heated arguments. I had a discussion about a Souls game boss at one point because someone said that the boss I was finding hard wasn't actually hard. He said, Sister Freed's not hard, and my comeback was, "You're not hard." I was, wait, what?
Voice, yeah.
Well, that's literally my comebacks on here. Like, Hawk will say something like, "This isn't good," and I'll just go, "You're not good.
Your face isn't good."
Yeah.
Fuck you.
That's literally half my dialogue on here.
Yeah.
Which is funny, but
You're funny.
It's not a good argument.
Thanks.
That was natural. I didn't even think about it. God damn it.
All right, let's keep going.
There's no chaos or morality bars. There's just decisions that have to be made and the consequences of them. Which really does beg the question of why we include all that stuff in the first place. When I made the choice to set Gabriel free, or picked a side in intergalactic politics, there was no incentive to do so other than what I thought the best option was, and that's what made the fallout from those decisions so interesting. We need to rethink about how we tackle moral decision making in games. It's something that doesn't need.
Yeah, but the good part about having choices is you have to think you know the consequences. So you think and hope what you're choosing is going to have a certain outcome, and you think, okay, if I'm nice to this person, therefore she's going to be nice to me in the future. That might not be the case. So is it tough love moment? Is it like be nice to this person moment? What's the scenario, and what's the scale? What are you trying to do? Are you just trying to help someone get through the day, or are you blowing up a city? So it's like, what's the choices you want to make in your game, and what's the consequences? If you don't have any insight in the consequences, who this is going to impact, then you're just nuking a city because it's cool, which is what you do in Fallout 3.
3, yeah.
Did anybody actually nuke Megaton?
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
Like unironically?
Yeah, that place pissed me off. Like, what the hell? Every time I walk in there, they want to kill me. They're dead. What did I do here? I just walked in there.
Wow.
I remember using a console command. Like, I killed the sheriff, and then I just took his weapon, and then used a console command to bring him back. Because I just really wanted his AK.
You take his duster and his hat, yeah.
Yeah.
I want that hat. Give it to me.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What? He's back, okay? I bring him back.
I never did it. It just didn't go with my actual moral compass. I just didn't do it.
I bring him back. It's fine.
I was fine. I was fine with the city. Okay.
I didn't blow it up because the sheriff was a cool guy after I killed him and brought him back. And Moira was annoying. And then you had the Adam people.
Yeah.
I should have blown that city up.
I'm just kind of like worried about Smud now. I'm just like, you've changed in my eyes.
No, it's fine because as I think about Megaton, I just remember hating it.
There's not too many memorable moments in that game aside from Megaton, Liberty Prime.
Yeah, Liberty Prime.
I see blowing up Megaton as a karmic justice because they decided to make a city around a fucking nuclear bomb.
We all get drunk during the design of cities.
That always struck me as odd.
But where else do you go? Where else do you go in Fallout 3?
Literally anywhere. Literally anywhere.
Okay,
just make the city anywhere else other than around a nuclear bomb.
It's fine. No one goes there. It's safe.
Also, I'm becoming more and more disappointed with this video because he started off with such an interesting concept.
Yeah.
And it's just led to, man, this text adventure was really good. We should make more games like this.
Yeah, he didn't go
barely even talked about what makes a morality system good or bad.
Right.
Or how it makes us more or less moral.
He also never answered, are morality systems making us less moral? He never answered that.
We're essentially still watching an intro.
I guess he did in the way of saying, look, this game without a moral system seemed the most moral to me.
Yeah, cool.
Sure.
He also brought up Half-Life 2 for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
Sure.
What's the morality system in Half-Life 2 in a fucking linear game?
Is it weird that I completely forgot that he brought up Half-Life 2?
Yeah.
He also
I just watched the stream on Vod's frame and I noticed that Half-Life 2 was in this video.
I mean, you mentioned Half-Life 2 and I was like, wait, did he mention Half-Life 2?
Yeah, Raven. That was.
Yeah, he didn't go anywhere with that. He just brought up a Ravenholm. Okay.
I'm so disappointed in him because he could have brought up Postal 2. That has a real morality
system. This is such a good concept for a video. This is such a good concept, and he just went nowhere with it. And it's not even it's not even anything to get mad at. He didn't say anything retarded. No. It's just man, you're a disappointment.
You basically said nothing.
Well, he did choose KOTOR, which is a pretty hard morality system. So that works within the narrative of the game. You're trying to figure out where these force powers come from, and you have one side or the other, which is, again, very simplistic, which is fine. But that works with the narrative, because you discover, this is what I've become, and you're influencing others that join you to act the same way as you do, and you see that. And that's what's cool. I like that aspect of KOTOR, even if it is simplistic and there's, black and white morality. So you see the same thing it's even better in KOTOR 2, where you make people Jedi or Sith because you wake up these powers in them, and they follow you for this crazy, weird Jedi Force scar reason, whatever you want to call that. So I like that element because it's not just about morality, it's about other things than being good or bad. There's the Force, there's the pain that you're going through, there's the memories you've lost, and all these other things happening. So there's a lot going on in these games that just happen to use a morality system for gameplay. So that is what I like to see. But as we said before, they're so one-sided, you could easily have made those morality systems be have three options, where you have the middle of the road or the gray. And what could that do? You could be a jack of all trades in the Force or something. Like, that would be interesting. That would open up other gameplay. That's who I am in
real life. I love being a jack of all trades. I know a little bit about a lot of shit, and it's good. It's a good time. I like it. I don't like having a specialty, and I would like to experience that in a game at some point. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. I'll admit, Zach does not have a speciality in anything. He is true about that. Yeah.
I have a speciality in kicking British people's ass. You're about to find out.
Do it.
Little do you know, I'm not rich.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Luckily,
also,
I'm not British.
Joe Crazy, send me a DM, man. Tell me how Point Lookout in the Pit was.
Oh yeah, this is Joe Crazy. I enjoyed the Point Lookout and the Pit DLC from Fallout 3. I don't even remember those. Wow, it's been a while.
I never played them. I had no...
Point Lookout, you get your brain taken out. That's fine.
Really? You do?
No, that's... No. That's
that happens Old World Blues in New Vegas.
Yeah, that happened.
That was a crazy line.
Point Lookout. It does happen in Point Lookout, yeah.
Old World Blues is my favorite DLC ever.
Yeah. Mother
Seriously?
fucker! Calm the fuck down out there, you sons of bitches! Mother fuck.
Okay.
It's America. What do you expect?
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, Point Lookout. You go pretty much. Funny, it's like their version of Louisiana, almost. So you're dealing with. Someone's taken part of your brain out, and you've got to try and get it back. And you have a conversation with your brain as well.
Okay.
So obviously, they took some ideas and took it into Old World Blues. It's been a long time since I've played Fallout 3.
Old World Blues was just crazy, fun, silly, mechanical backstory. Just everything all at once. You're just like, wow, ray guns and mutated scorpions.
Doesn't the toaster want to destroy the world?
Yes.
Yeah, and the Liquid Snake was the mad scientist.
Yeah. Also, doesn't the light switch also try and seduce you?
Yes.
Yes.
And the sink.
And yeah.
It was the.
I'm gonna burn down a police station tonight.
The guy who wants to destroy the paper shredder. He likes sedition. He wants to destroy all the seditious books.
Oh shit! Sorry.
So much fun.
Yeah, it was a good DLC. Yeah.
Anyway, that was my favorite DLC of all time. I haven't played a better, unless you want to argue Witcher 3's various DLCs, but those are like, that's as good as it gets in the world of RPGs with the Witcher 3's DLCs.
Yeah.
Oh God, don't. I love The Witcher 3 so fucking much.
All right.
Okay.
One more minute. We're probably already done anyway.
I simp over Triss, but I always go for Yennefer.
Oh, ever since Witcher 2, I was like, oh, they redeemed themselves. So, Witcher 1 was garbage.
Huh?
Witcher 1 was horrible. It was just a buggy crash-a-thon. I couldn't even get past the third chapter or whatever.
Should have downloaded 100 mods, Smud. That'd have made it good.
Oh yeah, that would have made it much more stable.
Considered a mod.
Didn't they re-release it as a fixed thing?
Supposedly.
All right.
Fucking, I never played the first two. Witcher 3 was the only one that I've played.
Oh, you gotta play the second one. Second
Message
one
coming in.
brilliant.
Patching it through.
Oh yeah?
Second one's good. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
But the graphics,
Yeah, a little dated. Not bad. but still dated.
I'm just kidding.
Such a snob. I can't go back and play Morrowind.
No,
How
you
sad
can't.
is that?
You can't. It's too funny.
You are sad, yeah.
It's like a joke.
Morrowind is so tism, and I can't play it ever again.
Ugh.
Anyway,
it's my favorite Elder Scrolls.
Ultimate Fatty Lobotomite. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Far Harbor from Fallout 4 ripped off Point Lookout a fair bit.
Yes, yeah, it did, yeah.
Well, I didn't play Point Lookout, and I liked Far Harbor, so shut up.
No, you.
Alright.
All right, guys, 1 minute. Let's do it.
It's simulating because it's something humans do naturally. So when we try, all that happens is that we corrupt that process. All you've got to do is present players with interesting scenarios, let the consequences unfold naturally, and they will do the rest.
And also design a decent game around it.
Yeah.
I don't like
It has to
the.
be a game.
Hi, and thank you for watching. The
Oh, he's
Architect
done.
of Games is made.
Shut up.
Okay, so the idea of
Wait,
having
what?
interesting scenarios is like that's. Yeah, of course. Like this is. I always talk about this with people who are writing books or analyzing things. Never ever use the word interesting. Tell me why you are paying attention. What's the reason you're caring about whatever's happening on the story? Don't say interesting. Say exactly what is it you're trying to do. Compelling is fine. It hooks me in. Then you describe why. Like give me reasons. Don't just say, this character is interesting. Like no. You have a vocabulary. You have feelings. Tell me what works and why. So making interesting moral scenarios or ethical dilemmas. It's like, which is the dilemma? What is going on that makes me care? And that's where you start making things compelling and hooking people in for narrative reasons.
Ooh.
And then put choices in there on top. Wouldn't it be cool to control the robot alien you just found? Yes. Wow. Then write it out. Don't say, aren't robots interesting? It's like, yes. Then what? Well, they can blow up. It's like, okay.
Yes, they are.
Why do they blow? Yeah. So give me a reason first.
Because they were clean.
Yeah.
Oi. Oh,
Motherfucker!
Mateus, why are you guys bashing mods? Depends on the mod. Mods are great. I love a game that needs a ton of mods. Is Elder Scrolls Daggerfall?
Message
Really?
coming in. Patching it through.
Daggerfall.
Daggerfall? Are you sure? There's a remaster of that game recently.
I might
I
die
think
to
in
my
Unity.
voice.
Wait, there's a remaster of Daggerfall?
That's the
Not a
second one,
remaster,
right?
but like a fan remake. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh,
That was
I'm actually
made
gonna
in
die
Unity.
tonight.
Wow.
Okay,
That's old.
cool story. Yeah, that is old, yeah.
Sirens everywhere.
It comes with every single purchase you make for a Bethesda game on Good Old Games. Because I can go it like 3 times by now. Like Elder Scrolls,
Stop giving
first
it
game,
to
I
me.
think Arena, and Daggerfall.
Stop buying stuff.
No, I pay like €1 for what was it? Like Fallout 1 and 2, and then I got like those games again as a bonus.
Oh boy.
So
Why
don't
would you do
get me
that?
wrong. Mods are cool if like you've played a game that you're a big fan of and you want a fresh take on playing it again, like a Souls game, or you want to play it in a different way, and a mod allows you to do that. But if you need to download like 20 to 50 just to make quality of life changes or bug fixes to a game, then maybe don't recommend that game to people, because it's clearly not a good game on its own.
Yeah, to get through the tutorial, you have to like download like 60 mods to enjoy it. No, then.
I will
Someone
argue
sold me on it.
there are lots of great mods that you want a lot of in New Vegas just because they make the game cool. And not to say the game is bad by itself, but there's so many UI updates and meshes and texture maps and things to do with the environment, the balancing of the enemies.
That's different, though.
Not necessary, but you love to have them.
Yeah. Like the weapons, I love. All the new modern weapons you could have, like just like dozens and dozens of guns that you didn't get in the game, which are awesome. It's so cool. So, yeah. Anyway, there's all kinds of flavors of mods, especially for the hero engine style games like Fallout. So, yeah, whatever is your cup of tea in those worlds. There's always something for everyone in there. So,
whatever's your cup of tea.
Yorkshire tea, the best tea ever, of course.
Cup of tea.
Especially to Marmite.
Oh my god.
You're a Marmite.
I need a condiment with my tea.
Two spoonfuls of Marmite in my tea in the morning, and I'm good to go.
I'm gonna fucking
what the? Forget the crackers. Just put it in the cup.
I go the herbal green tea route with honey.
Oh.
But then sometimes I swap the honey with Marmite.
Oh my god.
Like Marmite tea with a spoon of Marmite. Yes.
What is happening?
I just have a jar of Marmite and pour a little bit of tea into that jar.
Fucking mint.
If you ever have an ant infestation in your cupboard, take it from someone who left a jar of Marmite at the back of their cupboard and then had an ant infestation. An open jar of Marmite gets rid of the ants.
Yes, it does.
Really?
Yeah.
You just open the lid. So long as you're willing to sacrifice a jar of Marmite, it doesn't even have to be like a full jar, like a semi-open, semi-used tub of Marmite. You just leave it open in the middle of your cupboard. Your ants go in, they go into the Marmite to eat it, and then they get stuck and die.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're saying the texture makes them stick.
Yeah, it's very goopy stuff.
Oh my god.
Either the texture does, or the actual Marmite poisons the buggers.
It's either that, or it's just yeast, so it kills them from the inside.
It's one or the other.
I appreciate the.
It's one slow agonizing death, or another slow agonizing death.
I appreciate the ongoing conversation between Holy Knight, Vader 999, and Titanic Tuna in the chat. See what you do, Spud? You bring people together. You get them talking.
Oh dear. There's a I just learned there's a mod for New Vegas where you can convert everything into Star Wars, like the buildings, the vehicles, or not vehicles.
Yeah.
There's one for Squad too. I don't know if anybody's played Squad.
So if your personality is entirely defined by Star Wars, shiny, get that.
Yeah. No, didn't Smud say? Didn't you say you weren't actually going to tell Shiny about it because he'd go missing for 6 months?
Well, yeah, the same thing happened when he installed the mod for XCOM 2. He just every unit is just a stormtrooper. It's like, dude, really? I love it. It's great.
That was an interesting time on his Twitter because every post was just.
Look at the stormtrooper helmet I made. Thank you, Shiny. Okay.
It's like, thanks, Shiny.
Oh boy.
Listen, he's a happy little clone.
He is a happy guy. He's a happy. You give him anything with like science fiction, he's like, yes, this is amazing. Look at this spaceship. It sucks. Look at it has all these dorsal fins. Why would you put that on a spaceship? It's silly. Like, what?
This spaceship, it sucks.
When he went on that rant in the Stargate talk about the shape, the design of the ships.
Oh my god!
I bet he's subbed to Space Dock and Jesus and Eckhart's Ladder.
Oh yeah,
probably.
He likes those guys.
I unsubbed from Eckhart's Ladder because he started simping over Rise of Skywalker. He's gotten over it now, but like when it first came out, he was just like, "Wow, it's so good!" I'm like, dude.
No.
Dude.
Wait, why? Why?
Dude.
Hold on. I've just got a comment. On the last Smudcast.
Sure.
One of the comments in YouTube was, this video was expectedly baffling, but the guests this stream seemed to have an issue staying on topic. So I just replied, honestly, we're struggling, just trying to keep ourselves entertained, and it was a real chore to get through because the politics of Legend of Korra. And he's gone, but why do you cover these types of videos? People vote for them and we do it. That's it.
Yeah.
And also, it's hard to tell how
Yeah.
entertaining a video is going to be just from the title. And I don't know about you, but I like to go into these blind as to give a live reaction. So when they say something retarded, you're getting my real rage. So,
But also sometimes you have videos with title like "Our morality system making us less moral," and you're like, "Oh, that sounds really interesting. Let's have a real discussion." And then they say nothing.
And this entire video was. Go ahead, voice.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. You basically are saying what I'm saying anyway.
Yeah.
All right, I forgot what I was saying.
I'm not having to go way of the ferret who put the comment. I'm just saying if you're listening, because I can't really be bothered to reply, type it out. People recommend videos. You put them into a vote in. People vote, and then we do it. And it is just luck of the draw what we get.
I try to watch a bit just to make sure that there's something there. And this guy had some stuff at the start, and I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. But I didn't watch the whole thing, so I didn't know if it was worth our time. So obviously it wasn't. But
because what he says is, then why cover these types of videos? I know they're voted on or something, but even Smudboy said in this stream he really doesn't enjoy these videos, so it just doesn't seem productive. I'm sure a lot of it is a feedback loop in the community when they just want Smudcast to always cover the same type of video, but the cast should definitely have a say in the matter too. I would rather listen to what the hosts are interested in than what the community wants them to cover. Just my 2 cents.
So I have a response for this. My response to this is there's a reason we go off topic. It's because we want to be entertained ourselves and also be entertaining.
We can't just sit there.
Sometimes... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Also, sometimes tangents might be very entertaining and interesting for us, but not really interesting for people listening. So that can happen too.
For fuck's sake, I got it's something I genuinely laughed at while I was editing. The fucking Shiny and me clip where we're just calling each other gay for 40 seconds on one of the Smudcasts. I put that's up on my channel, and that's just from a random ass tangent.
Yeah,
it's.
I don't want to get someone studying ethics in university and have this big rant about you could do this and that. It's like, okay, that's cool. I mean that'd be nice to hear, but I'd rather have a nice normal reaction to these things without having research the topics. Can you do this in Skyrim? Is this choice really moral? It's like, no, that's fine. We don't need to get that deep, because if the guy is not talking about a specific scenario, like say in New Vegas when you decide to side with House or whatever, it's like, okay, what are the moral ramifications of that? Then I'd be like, oh, maybe we should play the game, go through that scenario and see what it's like, and why does that matter? But he didn't even go that depth. He just sort of talked about games in a very surface level, while we're like, well, we know there's games that do have other morality systems. We saw that with Mass Effect and with the KOTOR and KOTOR 2, but he didn't really go into it. He didn't say why it worked and why it didn't work. He just says, oh, this is interesting. You're like, that's fine, and you like it. I'm glad you like it. I like lots of things too, but tell me why it's making me more of a good person, or make my character less of a good person. Give me something to work with.
Madaraki makes a good point when the hosts get to say what videos we watch, because you get Dunn and Maggie May fish. So yeah.
Oh, don't worry.
It's not always the best.
We are getting. I just talked to Dunn today, so we are getting another Maggie May. I don't know which one. So
cool.
You do.
Let me know when you're covering that Maggie video, and I'll skip that Smudcast.
Everyone will skip.
I'll be sure to take a nap that day.
To be honest with you, if I hadn't joined for that, Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas, I would never had my perfect just.
I don't know if I can handle another Maggie video because
I would never heard. I would never have heard the lines. Hobby Lobby wants to stop reproductive rights, and Kirk Cameron is the same as Captain Kirk because they both have the same name.
Was that actually a thing?
Yeah,
that was a thing. Yeah.
She was talking about Kirk Cameron, and then jumped over to Captain Kirk because Captain
Kirk is the same. Yeah, Kirk is the same name.
Because Kirk, and just went off on a whole spiel with that, and then she brought it right back around to Kirk, and then Kirk, like it was. Whew, that was bizarre.
It was a ride.
The most important thing, though,
was it worse than the RoboCop video?
Oh.
Oh my god! So RoboCop is transgender and clearly going through marital
is it
problems
worse?
because
is it
his
worse
wife
than
works with him.
I would say no. I think the RoboCop film one was worse. Yeah.
That was a fan fiction.
She does that.
Yeah, that was.
Like the most important scene of RoboCop is the boardroom where they just. It's like what? Like what are you even talking about? Like how is that the heart of RoboCop? The boardroom scene.
Consider the heart of Star Wars.
The scene where RoboCop goes through his old house.
No, please don't.
It's such a powerful scene, and she was just like, "See, this is why he's actually transgender." It's like, wow, you're a special kind of retard, ain't you, there, champ?
Well, I get the surface level comments like this gun is phallic. It's like, okay, I've heard that before. But then she says the spike is also another phallic object. You're like, wait, what? There's a penis on his hand?
Yeah.
There's a video that was done recently by was it Inquisitor, and he was covering a video, and it's like the lady says in the TLJ scene when Kylo and Rey are fighting the guards that the room is round and red, and it symbolizes the womb.
Yes.
Of a woman.
Wit and folly.
Yeah. It's like, oh well, if round.
So the giant finning. I'm gonna shut up because I almost just said spinning spans.
Spinning spans.
Yeah.
The big round rooms represent the women's womb. So the Geonosis Colosseum must be a really big womb, I'm guessing.
A lofty vagina.
Well, that's the problem.
Introduction to symbolism. Everything that's longer than it's wide is a phallic symbol.
Oh God! With what was the Goldman comment? He says this scene in the elevator is the sexiest scene in Star Wars, and you're like,
come on.
When Kylo Ren and Rey are in the elevator together, like how is it sexy? Where's the tension?
The hand touching, the Force hand touch thing was like the closest thing to sex we'll ever get in Star Wars. I'm like, what?
Lee.
But what about the scene where Vader cuts off the hand of Luke? Isn't that sexy?
Oh no! Major Lee went even further with not Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Solo, where he knew for a fact that Lando was having sex with his robot, whatever. You're like, no, there's not.
Good on you, mate.
No, it's not. It's not real. It never happened. Never mentioned. Nothing ever happened. It's like, dude. And he mentioned it 3 times in his video. This is a thing that happens in the movie. You're like, no.
I'm not here to argue with your sexual fantasies. I'm here to talk about a movie.
Also, I would like to point out that in talking about how we go on tangents, we've gone off on a tangent.
Well, we're trying to make 3 hours even.
Yeah.
So, we're making it nice even average on the.
We need a nice even number.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing else to talk about this video, to be brutally honest.
It ended already.
Although,
don't start pointing in chat. In chat, I see you. If I see the pointers, I'm gonna ask Smud to mod me, and then I'm start like timing you out for 30 seconds.
Don't
you're
give
bad.
Don't give Mateus any ideas. Don't do that. No. The only thing I could get from this video is that it will inspire us to make a video actually about morality in video games and how it works and what works.
Oh, fuck's sake, we went more in depth than this fucker did. Like we were talking about like Dishonored and everything, and the systems that go into that, Metro Exodus, and all that stuff.
Yeah, like he did not get into the playthroughs of Metal Gear or Deus Ex where you can have non-lethal like that. I love the idea in Deus Ex. You have all these options to complete a mission, whether it's technically, violently, stealth. You have all these ideas, and on top of that, they have lethal and non-lethal options. So that's this extra layer of gameplay, which also impacts dialogue later on in the story, and that I really appreciate, even if it's not narratively relevant. It's just a nice touch, and you see that detail when you play the game over and over again. So
it shows care. It shows they gave more than half of a fuck when they made it.
Detail, attention, heart, design, intelligence, all these things, and it works in a simple way. It's not bugged. It doesn't break the game. It's just the thing you can do. So
it just works.
Exactly. And even though
it's like poetry, it rhymes.
Oh no. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Mateus, super chat. Hey, thanks again. Oh boy, Maggie Mae Fish is really tough to cover. She is not tough to cover. She just drives people nuts. Her ideas are so stupid and crazy.
She's tough for me to cover because I just want to blow my brains out every time.
Yeah, no, I always see it as a woman who talks and no one is in front of her to tell her to, hey, slow down. Wait, whoa, what are you talking about? Like no one's there to filter her. Like if she had a boyfriend and she talked her ideas to him and he'd be like, okay, dear, whoa, I don't think Donald Trump is the reincarnation of Napoleon and the Hitler and whatever. I don't think that's the thing. Like I don't think that would be possible. So
I think it's actually quite good that I don't think she's got a boyfriend because I don't agree with domestic violence, but you know. Getting a bitch slapped.
Well, I told you, the closest I've ever come to hitting to domestic violence was when my ex-wife set me off, and I just had to leave the house, so I didn't I had
the back of my hand, Karen.
I don't agree.
The back of my hand.
I don't agree with domestic violence, and honestly, you're a shitty person if you ever hit your wife. But I can see how you get there.
That was a routine by Bill Burr, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill Burr. Oh, yeah, Bill Burr had that whole bit. There's plenty of reasons to hit a woman, but you just don't do it.
Okay. Setter Cheese. Let me at Maggie Mae Fish.
I understand. I don't agree with it.
A cat fight. Hey, Setter, if you want to come on for a Maggie Mae Fish video, talk to Dunn. Tell him what because I want him on because he recommends the videos and he never shows up. So
hang on,
I'll watch. Hold on, come on, Maggie Mae Fish.
I'm just laughing. I mentioned domestic violence too far by Cedar further down, but Smud can domestic violence me. Well.
That involves a contract in both countries.
I'm just
domestic violence me.
And to be honest with you, you don't have to do. Smudge, you wouldn't have to do that much since she's pretty much broke her own leg.
Yeah,
it's like crossing it.
You're right.
Just kick her in the other shin.
Yeah, she said, I uncrossed my legs and I'm going to the hospital because I think I've broken my leg.
Oh my god.
So awesome.
Mateus, what are you doing?
How do you manage that?
She pinched a nerve or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how she did it, but
yeah.
Let's leave that alone and let's get on with life. Okay. Jeez. Joe Crazy, women, can you at least admit that every ass kicking doesn't just fall out of this effing sky? Bill Burr.
Oh yeah, he was talking about Chris Brown and Rihanna. It was just look, I want to know. There's no excuse for what he did. No fucking excuse. Just I want to know what the conversation was in the car.
Hey, you want to go for ice cream?
Do you really think she was just sitting there hey, do you have any tissues in the glove compartment? Everything. Oh, fuck. No, I'm sorry. I won't blow my nose in the car.
Patching it through.
Oh dear. Oh.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's been great. Glad to have a full house as always. I always appreciate seeing you guys, and Mark was a nice touch. Always good to have Mark on again.
Thank you.
Wish we had a more interesting video to cover. Well, obviously you guys picked a good one, but we had no idea what the content would have been. So that's just how it goes. But yeah, we'll plan out all the other ones as well. And I'll watch as much as I can so I don't bore anyone to tears. But these things happen.
Yeah, it wasn't boring. I think we more than made up for it. We made it entertaining and had interesting discussions about beating women.
And I appreciate that because the alumni
It's not,
in Minecraft.
Jesus.
It's not the video review. It's how many insults and terrible jokes we can tell.
How based we got along the way.
The Americans are having a really hard night right now, so I wanted to liven it up. And most of the guys in my other Smudcast channel, it's private for the alumni. They've been blowing it up with who knows what conspiracy theory. I'm just like, all right, I don't care, but I want to have some fun tonight. So anyway,
wow, wow, you have a secret Smudcast chat. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Thanks, Mark. That's cool. Look at that. You clever meme guy. Look at that.
What?
Let me hold that up.
Yeah. Bring back up. What?
Dark side points gain, light side. Yeah, no, there are options in KOTOR where you gain both at the same time. It's really funny.
Yes, second one especially. Like, it just spams, especially Kreia. Like, every time you talk with her, it's like, oh, I want you to do this, but you also be a good guy still.
Oh dear.
This
I think the line is like, "Are psychotic urges all that drives you?"
Oh, it's multiple choice. Like, there's not just one choice. There's multiple after that. Yeah, you're right. I remember that. Okay. Oh, wow. Guys, if you haven't played KOTOR 2, go ahead. Do it. Best Star Wars game there is.
What about Jedi Fallen Order?
Get out.
It's made by the same guy, right? Like, Chris Avalon was working on Fallen Order.
Chris Avalon?
I don't know how much.
He did pretty much most of the writing for KOTOR 2. He was so inspired by the first game, he threw his controller down. He was
when the water level.
Yeah, and he was hoping to get on that Obsidian game, or sorry, not Obsidian. What was it at the time? Was it Obsidian?
It was the first time from Obsidian.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and he was so happy to work on it. He put everything into it. As much as we find the whole weird stuff that happened about him on Twitter and sexual innuendo and talking to women, I don't care. I really don't care about his personal life. I never did.
I totally missed that.
Yeah.
So there's a term I like for this, or a phrase I like for this. It's separating the art from the artist.
Yep. The same with politicians. The same with artists and athletes. I don't care. Whatever they say and do in their own private life is none of my business. It's the art that matters. And if they make it good, I like them. If they make it bad,
because that's what you're paying attention to.
That is all
art,
you should judge.
Consuming.
I don't care that all these artists or writers or perverts or have fetish. I really don't care. It does not bother me. They are writers. That's their job. They are artists. That's their job. Let them be artists. Let them be writers. And leave them alone.
I'm kind of in the same boat. It's you'll hear about, say, like someone is like grooming 17-year-old or something. I'm just like, okay, that's it's pretty shitty, but anyway, when's the next video coming out?
Exactly.
Like, you're going to jail now. Okay, I guess no new videos then. All right.
Yeah. I mean, when I
separate the artist from the product.
Yeah, when I listened to J.D. Salinger's, who knew him, and like an actual girlfriend of his who was below age and whatever, and you're like, oh, interesting. But was he abusive? No. He just liked younger girls. I mean, that's fine. I don't care. I mean, that's nice to know his whatever released a book about him, but none of my business.
Like, oh, cool. I'll just pirate his stuff from now on. Make sure you don't support him with money. I don't know.
Anyway, thanks guys for tuning in. Keep the suggestions coming. I'm always going through them. Sometimes I miss a few of them, so just repost them in case you're really wanting to find them. If you I don't know, you had a post like months ago and I forgot about it, message me. I'll be happy to look at it again. These things happen. There's a big deluge of these things, and I don't know how to have enough time to watch them all. Keep voting in the 5 voting channels we have. I'm slowly updating them as I watch new videos. And any new suggestions on... I think someone posted a bunch of Kotaku or Polygon articles. I can do that. I don't think I want to drag these guys into just read a bunch of articles and we'll cover it unless it's really interesting. But they're usually,
if they're really interesting, I'm up for that.
I know, but they're Polygon, so they're like, they're dumb.
True enough.
So
if you do want some interesting articles to read, I could read you guys Sonic's Ultimate Harem. It's a really tasteful.
No.
It's very tasteful. It's very well written.
No.
Anyway, yes.
No.
Good night. God bless America.
No.
Have some Ryan whiskey or whatever bourbon, whatever American-esque thing to say.
I've watched a lot of crime shows, and I've always been like, how could another person kill someone like that? But then I see people who write creepypasta for a living, and like, oh, okay, I get it.
Fuck you! I read creepypasta on my stream.
It's like when you have an ex-girlfriend who cheats on you after a long time, and you break up, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Anyone who's seen my dick and met my parents needs to die. They got a lot of information on me right now.
Voice, I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay.
I think about it.
Be out of the world anymore.
Voice for president.
I know my ex-wife is out there somewhere.
Okay, guys. Great stream. Have a good one. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.